Friday, you bastard.
Oh! Bloody glove, a bloody glove. I went to OJ's estate and something wasn't right. I took a walk on down the street and I took out my flashlight. And I suspected something funny when I saw a spot of blood. Then I jumped over the wall and I knocked on Cato's door. He told me about some thumps he heard, so I looked around some more. And I suspected something funny when I found a bloody glove. A bloody glove, but I didn't tell Cato. A bloody glove, whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing we knew, OJ went on a low-speed Bronco ride. Now he's in an LA jail charged for double homicide. And I believe it's first degree murder he's guilty of. It's because of a bloody glove.
He just won't go away, OJ. Just refuses to disappear. Every time we think we got rid of him, he just keeps popping up again. Like a nightmare.
Hey,
like
as soon as you stop talking about how he murdered those people and give him his celebrity status and all his money back.
Oh, you don't think he really did it, do you? Before we do anything else, I want to urge everybody who's anywhere near a computer right now.
Yeah, before they take it off.
Well, but we don't know what it is.
We don't.
Did you show Josh that picture?
I showed everything.
I witnessed
everybody.
And what is it?
It's, you tell me.
Okay.
We don't know, man.
The article in the New York Post this morning says OJ blames Nicole. Now, if you go to nypost.com, NewYorkPost.com, just NYPost, and click on under the news stories where it says OJ blames Nicole, just click on a link to that story, and the story will pop up, and there is a picture next to the story, and that is captioned OJ Simpson. Now, we only could wish that he's starting to deteriorate that badly. If that really could be him, there must be a God, you know what?
No, God.
Oh, brother. That is... Maybe somebody can tell us what that is.
A costume?
A costume?
Hey, look, I'm just throwing things out here.
I mean, we know why Time made OJ so black. How come the Post made him so light and bizarre? But anyway.
Oh, wait, I got it. This
Yeah.
is some other guy named OJ Simpson.
Well, there you go. Maybe this is the real killer. Anyway, here's a letter from New Times. We got a lot of OJ stuff coming. We got Greta Van Susteren Brown Schwartz is going to be interviewing him on Fox. She already did the interview. And every publication in America is just ripping him an ass today, which we love. We hate you, OJ, like poison. Isn't it ironic that Screw Ann came in for a rare guest appearance before the show this morning to beg and ask me a favor, which of course I granted. How could we turn her down?
Roy!
Isn't that ironic that one of the OJ liquors in the building, Screw Ann, was in there just a little while ago? Here's a letter from my good close personal friend Michael Cohen, whoever he is. He's the publisher of Miami New Times. I didn't realize it's called Miami New Times. Whatever it is. A handout. Dear Mr. Neil Rogers, allow me to congratulate you. As you undoubtedly already know, you were selected Best AM Radio Personality by readers in New Times' 16th Annual Best of Miami issue. The eagerly awaited annual issue, which flew off newsstands, is now in the hands of 350,000 readers, many of whom will consult it frequently in coming months. For more than 16 years, South Florida's most authoritative guide to good living, Best of Miami, is a keeper that readers thumb through again and again. For the 6th consecutive year, New Times' Best of Miami issue also offers you additional exposure to potential customers. Consumers can now access the entire Best of Miami issue on our archival website, MiamiTimes.com. The site provides an invaluable reference to web surfing readers as they make shopping and entertainment choices throughout the next 12 months. Again, let me congratulate you in such a highly competitive marketplace as South Florida. To be singled out as our readers' favorite is truly something to be proud of. Best wishes for another great year. Sincerely, Michael Cohen, publisher of New Times. Well, isn't that nice? Thank you, Michael, whoever you are. Sounds like a good Jewish boy, don't it? Sounds like it to me.
Boy.
And he won't be voting for George Bush. By the way, Bush and the Pope over there sitting side by each. Now, which one's got the Tony Annette pair, huh? Wow. Who's the most incoherent of those two?
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the poll result from yesterday before we get to all this other OJ stuff. Anybody out there wants to take a look at that picture? Maybe you can enlighten us as to what that is. Maybe we're missing something.
I don't get it.
What is it?
I don't know.
Is it alive? Is it a thing?
Is it makeup? Is it...
It'd have to be a hell of a... I could understand, like, the face part, but the neck?
Looks like the guy that runs the ring toss at the youth fair.
Oh, yeah, I know which ring it is, too. That's the one Duff was talking about this morning. Here's yesterday's poll result. Some people have ring around the collar, some have ring around the...
Rectum.
What South Florida TV personnel needs to retire next? That was our poll question yesterday. 1,440 votes plus, and the obvious winner, there was no doubt. Ricky Ticky Sanchez, 627. They hate you like poison, Rick. They want you to retire now, if not sooner. And that show of yours, my God, what an abortion. Kelly Craig, and we say this with great regret and dismay, because we love Kelly. We love you, Kelly. Don't take it personal. She might make today's poll, too, as a matter of fact.
She might.
Well, that's bad.
Especially since you already wrote her on there.
Yeah. Well, at least we're keeping her name alive anyway. Kelly Craig, 144. Spilky's Neray, 122, probably the most unctuous of them all on Channel 7, and that covers a lot of territory. Dwight Lauderdale, 96. Since he shaved the mustache off, they just don't like him no mo. Since they took Ann's body back to the crematorium. Tony Segreto, 91, Silly Tony. Marilyn Mitzel, old cat eyes, bitch, 46. Big drop-off there between Tony and Marilyn Mitzel. Al Sunshine, the old ham hock boy, on Channel 4, 43. And they still hate you at the Floridian now, like poison. In fact, if you ever go to and order breakfast, they might have something real special for you. Michelle Gillen, 39, tied with Brian Norcross. I think that's a good pairing, those two, since he, of course, is the number one fag hag in town. Ike Siemens, 37. Speaking of that, Miss Horkheimer, Jack Horkheimer of WPBT, Channel 2, Public Television, got 35. He's got his eye to the sky. He's got his eye to the sky. Angela Ray's got...
About 30, man.
30. I thought she'd have done better, wouldn't you think? Or maybe they just view her as, a little bit of humor.
That's who I voted for.
Comic relief. Lonnie Quinn, 29. They don't like you, Lonnie. I don't know who you are, but they sure don't like you. Bob Mayer, 26. Nice to see little Bobby, our good friend, drop down the list. They don't want Bob to retire. They like seeing little guys sitting on a phone book. Elliot Rodriguez, 19. I guess the audience doesn't share my dismay and disgust and contempt, or maybe nobody watches Channel 4 News. Jennifer Volpe, 15, with her massive, gigantic ego. And Alicia Lane is in last place with 7. And Miguel was saying there ain't nothing wrong with Alicia Lane.
Never heard of her.
And we have no idea who she is, but if Miguel says it, well, there's probably a problem. Anyway, getting back to OJ, we're going to be OJ intensive. The Inquirer comes out. Got it in my hand right now. And there are zillions and zillions of articles about OJ and his daughter got into a big cat fight with him and all this other crap. In fact, where the hell's that headline? Daughter attacks OJ Simpson. I love that. Don't you love it? And then when you're coming to find out that to honor the memory. Huh? No, I guess I'll do this story right now. I was going to get to Natasha Henstridge. I better do that right away.
All right, do this.
We've got a lot of desperate, horny guys out there. Natasha Henstridge is behind our beaded curtain today on NeilRogers.com. If you're over the age of 55, if you have 72 pieces of ID, photo ID only accepted, and if John Ashcroft don't go tilt when you click onto it, you might be able to take a quick peek. It's all there for you. She was born August 15th, 1974, which makes her almost...
About 30, man.
Right?
Their boots?
Close to it.
29-ish?
Yeah, 29 and 2/3. Natasha Henstridge was born in Springdale, Newfoundland, Canada, eh? And boy, I got enough pages here, man. Wow. She's been in everything, all over the place. Sometimes credited as the chick from Species.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Yes. She was in the whole 10 yards.
She answers to that.
Power and Beauty. She Spies. Riders. Mostly True Stories. Girl, 3 Guys and a Gun.
Yeah.
I thought Scran was in that one. Kevin of the North. Ghost of Mars. Better Way to Die. Second Skin. Bounce. Jason and the Argonauts. It had to be you. Oh, just too many. Kill You Twice. Belladonna. Species 2. Standoff. Maximum Risk. Species, 1995. And a zillion TV appearances like the Late Show with Craig Kilborn, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Sharon Osbourne Show, and on and on. So Natasha Henstridge is on our thing today. And if you're lucky, maybe she'll be on your thing tomorrow. What is this thing that you just faxed me about, Das Experiment? Is this something worth my looking at or not?
We were talking about it before, about somebody mentioned the real experiment. You saw it on the news coverage when this whole Abu Ghraib story first broke about.
Oh, that's all. I don't want to go rehash.
They made a movie about it.
No, I don't want. I saw that. I don't want to go back through that all again.
I saw the movie.
It's boring. At any rate, OJ, let me just do the OJ thing here real quick. Or should I do today's poll? I guess we'll do today's poll first, just to give you something to like. Now, maybe somebody's already looked at that picture. You think it has an idea who that is? WQM, OJ line, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing? I got an OJ story that I ran by him, and I hate that bastard.
Yeah.
I used to work at the King Cole in Miami Beach as a condominium. He used to come in there for a friend of his to go on his boat, and he walks up with his Lincoln Navigator and gets all limping out, and one of my coworkers tells him, could I have your autograph? And I was right next to him. And he goes, you wanted to me? And I was like, no. So he got offended, and he goes, why? I said, I'd rather have Charles Manson's, autograph next to yours. And he got pissed off, and he walked away. And then I go, at least he admitted it, low. And he didn't. He heard me, but I said it low enough, so I thought he did it. So he went and got me fired because of that, man.
He got you fired?
Yeah, I got fired because then the next day the boss comes, the man who lived there. I'm not gonna say who it is, but he lived in between 10:08 and 10:10. And he went complaining, and they fired me.
Can you be a little more specific?
Which side of the
I'm not going to put his name out there, but that's who it was.
I see.
But I hate that bastard. If I see him, I want to poop down his grandmother's throat.
Okay, well, that sounds like something to think about. But why punish Grandma? She didn't kill anybody. She didn't
that
get you
we know
fired.
of.
Yeah. At any rate, that was cute.
Maybe that's who's in the picture.
In fact, maybe Josh Beckett ought to hear something about that. Maybe that might...
Oh, let's go home. It's not going to get better than that today.
I know. The only problem is I already am at home. Boy, you're sure faxing me a lot of stuff. Have you ever seen this website?
No.
YourCallRadio.org. You might want to check it out. I was listening to Waxy 790 this morning. I just can't imagine why. And they had a show produced by this radio station that was interesting, a talk by David Corton. I don't have any idea what that means or what that's all about, and quite frankly... Okay, here's our poll today. Who's your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? And we're not just talking about fat like me or Mo. We're talking about real fat. Now, we got some people on our station who qualify, like the Humper, right?
Right, the Beast, we could put him on there.
Now, the Beast is one of my least favorite fat people.
Was funny.
The Beast and the Mo now are bonding in. See, the Beast and Mo have a lot in common, and that is they both keep wandering around trying to find somebody that they can latch onto. Now, the Beast has been rejected by Pharrell, by Joe Rose, by yours truly again now, by Mo several times, but it looks like the two of them it looks like they're getting back together again. I'm pleased to see that. So maybe you want to send them a congratulatory message. Does anybody have any idea who that picture is before I do the poll?
No.
WQAM, hello.
It's John Candy.
Now, that's a psychic caller, because the first name they're already calling for the poll. I was just still curious about the OJ picture in the Post. John Candy, Kelly Craig, Dave Dixon, Big Wilson, or Marlon Brando. Those are the first 5 names that we have for the list. And then you folks can add several thousand more. 11 o'clock, Dave Johnson will be calling because we got the Belmont tomorrow.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Roger's God.
It happens every 10,000 years. Time's up. Legalized gay marriage, gay-themed TV shows, even gay TV networks. It's the end of the world. If you're a homophobe or a Republican, it's coming to a theater and possibly a family near you. Gay After Tomorrow.
There's a tidal wave of homosexuals coming at me right now. There's women's rights, queer eye, the L-word. Oh my God, it's the entire lineup of Bravo!
The legalization of gay marriage is sweeping across the planet. Continent after continent, nation after nation, state after state. Well, just one state so far, but that's just the beginning.
They're everywhere. My job, the government. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They're even in Pier 1 commercials.
It started years ago with Ellen DeGeneres. Now it's a homophobic event of global proportions. It's the epic saga of one man's desperate struggle to prevent the whole world from becoming gay or tolerating anyone who is. George W. Bush stars in the biggest blockbuster of the summer, Gay After Tomorrow. Be there when it comes out in theaters this summer.
Hamburger Helper.
10:18 at 560 WQAM. In an interview marking the 10th anniversary of Nicole Brown Simpson's murder, the unctuous O.J. Simpson virtually blames his ex-wife for her own slaying, declares Kobe Bryant and Jacko innocent, appears to mock the idea of date rape, and plugs his own tacky reality TV show, says the New York Post, with this very bizarre picture. What is it?
It could be him. In disguise.
Based on what?
Based on that's how he goes out so that he don't get recognized.
Right. The disgraced grid legend makes the offhanded comments in a TV interview with Fox News Channel's the grotesque-looking Greta Van Susteren Brown Schwartz. Speaking about how he's handled the anniversary of his wife's slaying, Simpson says he's angry with Nicole for keeping an unsavory social set in 1994, the year a knife-wielding assailant, him, slaughtered Brown and Ronald Goldman outside her Brentwood condo. I'm angry with Nicole. I'm angry that she found herself hanging out with this group of, who are these people, Simpson said. I could count on my fingers the times I've seen Faye Resnick, and this is a group of nomads, I guess, that Nicole started hanging out with after we were divorced, and her mother didn't like him. Van Susteren and Simpson taped their 44-minute chat recently at a hotel in Miami. During the interview, which airs Monday at 10 p.m., Simpson shamelessly plugs a prank reality TV show he claims to be developing. Simpson compared it to MTV's show featuring actor Ashton Kutcher pulling stunts. It's a takeoff on something called Punked. It's me doing gags as juice. Juice, what they call juicing people, he said. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's 7 or 8 that it's going to happen. OJ,
I figured he'd call it stabbed.
OJ had harsh words for almost everyone involved in his trial, saving his most blunt attack for Denise Brown, who runs a foundation for her sister's memory. He claims she's profited from Nicole's murder. I'm sure the income is down on the foundation that she works for, which I would imagine makes her income go down, Simpson said. I don't think anyone's bills have been paid more than Denise's from what came from the trial, whatever that means. Simpson also comments on the prosecutions of NBA star Kobe Bryant and King of Plop Michael Jackson. He believes both are innocent. Bryant is accused of raping a hotel employee in Eagle County, Colorado, while Jackson's been indicted for allegedly molesting a young cancer victim last year in Santa Barbara County. As far as I'm concerned, Bryant and Michael Jackson are innocent until proven guilty, O.J. said. Just like him. In commenting on Bryant's case, Simpson appeared to mock the concept of date rape, saying, no doesn't always mean no. I have certainly in my life had girls come to the room and say no or say whatever, and when I was a kid growing up, just about every girl said no once, a laughing Simpson said. You know, they had to because you'd think that they were a slut or something. In my opinion, date rape and stranger rape are two different things entirely. So, no doesn't always mean no.
I'll be right
back. With the grisly June 12th anniversary next week, Simpson said he and the two children he had with Nicole, Sydney 18 and Justin 16, have already toasted their mom's memory. This is the best part. I don't look at the anniversary. I regret the fact that we ever had to know that this is the anniversary. I did mark the occasion a few days ago. I did have my kids at dinner at a Benihana-type place. I guess he liked the cutlery. And I said, okay, we got a toast. This would have been your mother's 45th birthday if I wouldn't have killed the bitch. I mean, well. Now, did we figure out who that picture is yet?
No.
Line 9 probably knows. WQAM.
Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason. It
No,
looks a little
that's
like,
not
oh, for the fat pole, I see. Well, you got two possibilities now. Come on, you got to take a look at this thing. NYPost.com. OJ blames Nicole. What is it?
Eric, do you want him to post it?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe Eric will get around to doing that. Oh, and speaking of Eric and his Japanese wife, you're going to be very relieved to hear this before we get back to all this other stuff. You are going to breathe a sigh of relief when you hear this story from USA Today.
Okay.
No sex pleas were Japanese.
I beg your pardon.
To an astonishing degree, astonishing, not just ordinary pedestrian, kind of interesting, but an astonishing degree, as in...
Oh, my God.
Right. The sexes are going their opposite ways in Japan. Young women are revolting. Oh, I see. Revolting against the traditional role of obedient housewife, opting instead to live at home and shop and socialize with girlfriends. Startled men are retreating into solitary ways. Check-ins at the country's famed love hotels are even falling. As birth rates slip, a social crisis looms in Japan.
Yeah, that is a relief.
It says nothing is happening these days with depressing regularity between Japanese men and women. Junko Saki was nervously looking forward to a romantic getaway with the man she'd been seeing, but when they arrived at a seaside hotel last fall, her beau requested separate rooms. Stunned, Saki nonetheless anticipated a late-night knock on the door. It never happened. Nothing happened, the Tokyo writer said. Marriages, births, and hanky-panky are all spiraling downward with troubling implications for Japan's future. A sagging birth rate means that fewer working-age people will be around to support a growing population of the elderly. A social crisis looms. Now, the reason George will be relieved is that his daughter's going to be on one of those student, whatever they call those programs.
Yeah.
Right. Or student exchange things, and she's going to be in Tokyo. I'm assuming Tokyo, right?
Nagano.
Oh, well, over there they're doing like crazy. No, seriously. In a 2001 survey, condom maker Durex found that Japan ranked dead last among 28 countries in the frequency of sex. The average Japanese had sex just 36 times a year, Hong Kong was next to last with 63. Guess who was number 1?
America.
Yeah, you got it? 124 times a year.
No, I'm just guessing.
Americans ranked number 1. Frequency of sex. They're horny, they're desperate.
Right.
They'll, of course, we are talking blow-up dolls and things like that. How about Chris Farley for the poll? Formerly alive and from Saturday Night Live, says Steve. Okay, we got a lot of fat comedians, a lot of fat, mostly dead comedians, because like we've said over and over again, how about Dom DeLuise? He's still alive.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, when did he die?
No, but I'm just saying, this isn't for dead. This is dead or alive.
We could start a show called Saturday Night Dead with all the dead people that used to be on that show.
Yeah. Just 1.1 million babies were born in Japan last year, the third straight decline. The average Japanese couple now produces just 1.32 children, 1 1/3. Well below the minimum 2.08 needed to compensate for deaths. As the result of plummeting birth rates, Japan's population is expected to peak in 2006 and then decline rapidly, which is probably good news because they seem to suffer from a very bad overpopulation problem, if you ask me. I haven't been there, but when you look at the country geographically, it's a very small country on a map.
Yeah.
And Tokyo is just teeming with millions and millions and millions, so they could probably use a little of that, you know?
Right. I guess that's the place to go if you want some. There's a need.
If you want some what?
Fun.
Well, your daughter's going there. 5670560, pound 560 on the 18th. And I just passed this along to, I don't want to get bogged down on all this stuff. And his name is not Chalabi. If his lawyer pronounces it Chalabi, which was always good enough for me before, that's good enough too. Ahmed Chalabi, the Iraqi politician suspected by U.S. authorities of having told Iran this spring that its secret communication code had been broken, was involved in an intercept episode 9 years ago, according to senior administration officials. In other words, this is nothing new. Didn't I tell you he was a crook and a slime ball? I told you that.
Yeah.
Officials yesterday recounted an incident in early 1995 when Chalabi's name turned up in an encrypted Iranian cable reporting a purported CIA-backed plan to assassinate Saddam Hussein, then Iraq's president. The message was intercepted by U.S. intelligence and caused a major political stir in Washington. It looks now like there's a chance that this whole thing, the neocons, may have got sucked in by the Iranians. And he might have been a part of it. He was the pimp in the middle of it, and he and his henchmen providing all this phony weapons on all this information on weapons of mass destruction and all these other phony documents. How do you like that?
Happen? They're so smart. How could they?
Yeah, they're so smart, like that. So all these over 800 Americans who have died over there and the 45,000 injured or maimed and all the other thousands of dead Iraqis, guess what? Oops. Maybe we got sucked in. Oops. Sorry. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is for the for the fat person's poll.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about putting on Big Wilson.
He's already on there, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
And he's got 4 votes, and thank you so much. Yeah, we're talking about not just people a little bit chubby, but, people big enough to be buried in a piano case.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Town, you turd at 560 WQAM. Goodbye, Chris Farley. You great big fatty, always acting like a great big fat dumb retard in every film you've ever made. Too bad for David Spade. His career could fade 'cause all he has left is that lame-o TV show. He won't be making muddy movies no more. And you wanted to be just like John Belushi and have John Candy's tunes. You finally made it, but were not too careful what you wished. You gave us lots of laughter on Saturday night, but you were way too young to die to commit Batman suicide. Goodbye, Chris Farley. What did you eat to blow up like a big balloon, eating like a fool? That would only bring you certain death. The farmers are upset, and all you left was some cable movies and a few pairs of your pants that will fill to make community pools. And you wanted to be just like John Belushi and have John Candy's chin. You finally made it, but were not too careful what you wished. Your casket could hold a piano that's 6 feet wide. Now you've reached the pizza in the sky. You got so fat you died.
Oh my God.
And there wasn't one word in there that we had to like potchkey around with. Wasn't that great?
Oh, refreshing.
I sat here right on the edge of my seat, just with my finger right on it. 10:32 at 560 WQAM. Join the Mad Dog this afternoon 2 to 4 as he broadcasts live from the Hooters in Doral. Stop by, win some of our embarrassingly low-budget prizes, and enjoy Heineken beer specials during the show. Enjoy some Heineken. I was asking Muff this morning if he likes it in a bottle. Join at QM Cuties tonight from 8 to 10 at the Village Grill and Pump located off Commercial and A1A. Stop by for prizes and specials on Beck's beer. That's German. Oh, the Fat Elvis.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's okay, huh?
All right, we'll put Fat Elvis.
Well, he was sure pretty monstrous back in the day, back in those Vegas days when he was bursting out of his outfits. Those outfits that were like 2-3 sizes too small. Now, since John Belushi's mentioned in that bit, how about John Belushi? Now, he was...
Yes, he was.
He was pretty gigantic, and the combination of all them heavy-duty drugs and the fat, I think, is like, what kind of put him over the edge? Wouldn't we agree on that?
Yeah.
So John Belushi and Elvis, the Fat Elvis. You want to be sure and put that on there, Josh. Fat Elvis, as opposed to the skinny Elvis.
Right.
5670560. Speaking of fat, here's one we might want to put on there. We got some people like this fat individual. How about the Fat Rush?
Okay.
The battle between Rush Limbaugh and prosecutors investigating him for alleged prescription drug abuse took another nasty turn yesterday when a conservative right-wing Nazi commentator accused him of breaking court rules and misleading the judges hearing the case. The latest disagreement arose earlier this week when Assistant State Attorney Jim Martz told an appeals court that Limbaugh's attorney provided wrong information in the case. Both sides appeared before the 4th District Court of Appeals in April to debate whether Limbaugh's medical records, which were seized for the ongoing criminal investigation, should remain private. During the court hearing, Limbaugh attorney Roy Black told judges that the Florida legislature had at one time revised state law so that medical records could not be taken by search warrant. On Tuesday, Martz provided the court with information that Black's comments were incorrect. But 2 days later, Black fired back, arguing that prosecutors were missing 5 years' worth of audio tapes of lawmakers' discussions when they made their assertions. The prosecutor is wrong and his research recklessly incomplete, Black charged in response filed in court yesterday. Prosecutors may have many powers, but they don't have the power to skip 5 years of legislation and rewrite history. He asked the court to fine Martz for his false accusations. Mike Edmondson, spokesman for the Martz office, declined to comment further on the case yesterday. And yada yada. So how about the Fat Rush? He was just trying to take them pills to cover up his back pain, that's all. He had kind of a pain in the ass. Kind of like what Duff was telling me. So let's put the Fat Rush on there, okay? Fat Rush Limbaugh.
We got it?
We got it. I got it.
567. Is anybody now got any idea? Huh?
No, we don't.
This is one of the great mysteries, I think, that I've brought to the public's attention. Far more desperate than anything else going on in the world today. Who is this picture? It says very clearly under there, O.J. Simpson. Can there be more than one O.J. Simpson?
No.
We sure hope and pray not. Because if they're like a whole bunch of them, there surely must be a lot of evildoers on the loose. Maybe El Presidente's got a point. I mean, you look at the New York Daily News and they got a big, ripping him an ass, by the way.
Yeah.
They got a big story, but it's like the OJ that we know and hate. It's the same, I don't get it. WQAM, hello.
How you doing, Uncle Neil?
Great.
I tried to reach you yesterday because I just got back from California and you were talking about assimilating.
Yeah.
Going up and down the coast, especially near the Bay Area, there were 10 million and one Chinese radio shows and 10 million and one Spanish radio shows. It seems like all over the country there's no assimilation. And there was one good thing that I did find out there.
You mean
on a lot
even
of
like
the
in
smaller
Kalamazoo,
stations,
Michigan? Yeah.
There was actually still some decent music, but they were just some of the small stations out there along the coast. But as far as, American stations or whatever, there's really no assimilation. And I got somebody for your poll, somebody that you don't really like, but he was big and fat, and the combination of the drugs and the fat, Jerry Garcia.
No, I don't dislike him. I just wasn't into that whole thing, that whole shtick.
But as far as the assimilation, it's all over the country, because even when I was in Reno, Nevada out there, they had 10,000,001 Hispanic stations.
Trust me, man. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Check it out.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Okay, you got it?
We got
Jerry Garcia. If it weren't for Jerry Garcia, we probably wouldn't have fish food, right?
Right.
I don't know what Jerry Garcia... Well, I mean, the fish was just another one of
Fish
those
was
same
inspired
types
by
of...
them.
Yeah, that's right, by the Grateful Dead. I'm looking at this. I got to put this down. This OJ picture, it's getting me aggravated.
Put it down.
Nightmare decade for OJ's dream team. You'll like this story. You'll love it. I got stories up the old chute about OJ. Shoot. Oh man, I'll tell you one thing, OJ. The day that that's my goal in life, is to outlive that miserable bastard, that murdering piece of crap. That's my goal. I just decided that right now, spontaneously, right on the air. Okay?
Okay.
I want to be around to see the day when they stick his murdering ass right in the ground. And you can imagine we'll be there to mourn, you know. There'll be some of our people, there'll be the water Nazi and Screw Ann. Oh, Jay, we miss you all. You know.
Coffin climbers.
Greg will be there. He'll be there in his Brooks Brothers suit with his crappy haircut. Nightmare decade for OJ's dream team. For the key members of O.J. Simpson's dream team of attorneys, life's become a nightmare since the trial ended 9 years ago, and we're delighted to see that.
Oh!
F. Lee Bailey has had a charmed career before he ended up with Simpson, representing characters as colorful as the Boston Strangler and Patty Hearst. But post-O.J., Bailey's luck has turned to crap, nosedived. He was disbarred in Florida in 2001, and the following year in Massachusetts for the way he handled 600,000 shares of stock owned by convicted drug smuggler Claude Duboc, and he spent 44 days in federal prison in Florida after refusing to turn over the stock to the government. In March 2003, Bailey was in hot water again. He took $2 million in legal fees that legally belonged to the U.S. government. A federal jury in Florida decided. Jurors ordered him to return it and pay an additional $3 million in damages. In October, a judge set that decision aside, but the U.S. Attorney's Office in Orlando said it might file an appeal. The Duboc case also drove a wedge between Bailey and his longtime friend, Dream Team member Robert Shapiro, who represented the drug dealer along with Bailey. Bailey believed Shapiro had betrayed him by testifying for the government against Bailey in the stock case and swore never to deal with Shapiro again. Shapiro's luck's been better than Bailey's, but he's also had some difficulties since the O.J. trial. Oh! Good. He was recently dismissed by a client, record producer Phil Spector, who's accused of murdering a woman at his home. He did it. And he was dismissed by Yali Newman, a 20-year-old California woman charged with hatching a series of elaborate plots to cheat her estranged husband out of custody of their 2 children. Flamboyant, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit, and you're full of Schmidt attorney Johnny Cochran barely had time to savor his victory at Simpson's criminal trial before his ex-wife published a book claiming Johnny hit her and had a secret son by another woman. Cochran vehemently denied abusing her. And as the Inquirer revealed last week, Cochran recently underwent surgery for a golf ball-sized brain tumor.
All right.
The architect of the Dream Team, Simpson's longtime pal Robert Kardashian, won't see him no more, died at his Encino, California home last September, only 6 weeks after marrying Ellen Pearson, 8 weeks after he learned he had cancer of the esophagus. How'd they say it? Esophageal cancer.
I don't know how you say it.
I never say it.
Yeah, I don't.
Kardashian went to his grave with his reputation still sullied by his actions in the Simpson case. He was carrying a garment bag out of Simpson's house 24 hours after the double slaying. What everyone wanted to know were Simpson's bloody clothes in there, said his widow Ellen. Was Robert being an accomplice? After the trial, he never spoke to the Dream Team again, and he never spoke to O.J. Simpson, and even on his deathbed, O.J. didn't get around to calling. How do you like that? And he also told his wife, if O.J. does call, tell him it's the wrong number.
Where'd you go?
I'm reaching for the fax stuff back here, okay? You're just faxing me so much crap.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap.
Wow, just a lot of crap all the time, man, more than we can handle. We're just drowning in a sea of crap. Let's see, the fat Jerry Lewis, who is no longer as big and blown up like the bullfrog that he was. That fat, disgusting slob. Now, Tom in Fort Lauderdale says that. It's a little insensitive.
Hey, lady.
Are we putting him on there?
Yeah, but be sure to put the fat Jerry Lewis, because most of his life, Jerry Lewis that we knew and despised was skinny.
Now, we've gotten a couple of faxes. I haven't sent them along.
Saying?
The fat Neil Rogers from when you used to be fat.
Okay. But they never knew me when I was really, really fat, when I was up to 266. That was my Sarasota days, 1973.
Yeah.
Let me tell you again about my Hamburger Helper and my, That's true. I'm watching like a college football game on a Saturday afternoon. What's not to like? I go out and I buy a box of Hamburger Helper, a pound of ground sirloin. I cook it all up there in the frying pan, throw in a Hamburger Helper, whip it all up. I get me a nice huge can of Hawaiian Punch with sugar. And by the end of the day, I've eaten the whole thing. by the end of the game. Huh?
What a lardo.
Yeah. And then I started getting these, waking up in the morning with these headaches and sweats and everything profusely. 266 pounds. I go to the doctor. He said, you're going to die from fat, mister. You got high blood pressure. Here's some pills. Go home and lose some weight, you fat tub of crap.
High and low. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
In the most unique competition ever, a group of ordinary women will hand over their lives to a team of cosmetic and plastic surgeons.
We have to be a little bit more dramatic to the face.
From the producer of The Swan, it's The Swine.
I wish I could just erase everything that's been done.
It's just like The Swan, but in a surprise twist, we make them uglier.
Behind that curtain, there's a mirror. When you feel comfortable, you're going to let me know that you're ready, and the mirror will be revealed.
Holy crap!
The Swine on Fox.
Son of a bitch!
10:46, 14 to 11 at 560 WQM. Mad Dog at 2 from Hooters. Then we got the Big O at 4.
Oh!
And we apologize for that. Humpers in New York for the Belmont. We'll be talking to Dave Johnson next hour. Is he calling at 11?
Yes, he is.
Oh. Marlins on deck, 6:35. Marlins at the Mets. It's about time to win a game, boys. 7:10 tonight. And then, of course, we got the UM Regional Baseballs on AM 790 Waxy for those who care about that. And then after the baseball on QAM, we got Tom Jicka. You might want to ask Tom how come he didn't write about those radio ratings in the last book. And how come he doesn't write any more about how Big 106 lost 80% of their audience after they blew off Stern on Clear Channel. All of these things that have to do with what's really going on. You might want to ask him that, but you probably won't. Anyway, we got 175 votes. Who's your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? John Candy's got 70. He's going to win hands down. Who didn't like John Candy, right? He was great.
Right. Everybody liked him.
Jackie Gleason, 31. Chris Farley, 25. Kelly Craig, 11. I told you she's going to make 2 polls in the same week. John Belushi, 10. Marlon Brando, 7. Big Wilson, hello Big, had 6. Jerry Garcia, 6. The Fat Rush Limbaugh, 3. The Fat Neil Rogers, 3. Fat Elvis has got a pair, although you couldn't find him. Dave Dixon, 1. Fat Jerry Lewis, none. And John Goodman, none. I don't remember putting John Goodman on there.
Not yet. I already faxed it to you.
Oh.
We're just trying to stay ahead of things.
WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got one for the poll. It's going to be
All
great.
right.
Paul Castronovo feeding his fat puss at the Emerald Coast. Now that is a winner right there, hands down.
Okay.
How about across the table from Orson Welles?
Orson Welles would be good, thank you. Okay, Orson Welles sounds excellent to me. Don't be picking on my good friend Paulie, okay? We need all the friends we can get. Now, what part of The Godfather was that in? He said, I'm going to need all the friends I can. Oh, no, that was in Network.
Right.
Remember?
Yes, I do.
William Holden, when he asked him to take back his letter of resignation.
Mm-hmm.
Ruddy. Edward James Ruddy. Remember him?
Sure.
He said, I'm going to need all the friends I can get. Sure, William Holden said. Sure, how about a drink? Oh, sorry, what a great actor and what a sad life, huh? See, all you people that are jealous of being a celebrity, forget about it, okay? We're talking about big celebrities. We're not talking about punks like radio people. We're talking about big, gigantic celebrities.
Forget about it.
Right.
It's their own fault. You got money and fame and you drink yourself to death.
Yeah, and drugs.
Yeah, idiots.
How about jockeys? How about young jockeys that make tons and tons of money, like Pat Valenzuela? He just got suspended again for the umpteenth time because he wouldn't take a drug test. He was supposed to ride in the Belmont tomorrow.
Yeah.
Famous jockey. You wouldn't know him because that's Pat Venezuela, whatever his name is.
Whatever.
Back in July 1994, the Inquirer created national headlines when we broke the story that O.J. Simpson bought a knife believed to be the murder weapon just weeks before the slayings of his ex-wife Nicole and Ron Goldman. And on the 10th anniversary of the killings, L.A. knife shop owner Richard Wattenberg told the Inquirer, it's been 10 years, but not one day goes by where someone doesn't say, isn't this the store where O.J. bought the knife he killed his wife with?
Yes.
And he says,
absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah. Simpson paid $81.17 for the 14.5-inch long German-made stiletto knife called a lock blade 6 weeks before the double murders. Salesman Jose Camacho and his boss Wattenberg told the Inquirer in an exclusive interview for our July 12, 1994 issue. Camacho told us Simpson had been outside on the street shooting scenes for the TV movie Frogmen when he came in at 3 p.m. on Monday on May 3rd. After he bought the knife, he wanted it sharpened. Simpson even gave the salesman a card he signed. It said, to Jose, peace to you. Or as Josh Beckett would say, 2 days after the killings, L.A. homicide detectives searching for the murder weapon came into the store Ross Cutlery, that's the name of the store in downtown L.A., and interviewed Camacho and Richard Wattenberg. They asked us every detail of what O.J. said, his demeanor, Wattenberg told the Inquirer. An hour later, they came back and bought the same knife. The actual murder weapon has never been found. Today, Wattenberg is reluctant to talk about the knife, but he did tell the Inquirer, at the beginning, believe it or not, people would blame me for the murders for selling O.J. the knife. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Man. Oh, I got how many pages here?
About 30, man.
O.J. stuff. In fact, I think on Monday, in honor of the fact he murdered those two people, we'll just play all the O.J. bits on Monday.
Eric sent me a note saying, Old J is up now.
Old J.
That picture, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what that is.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll lighten up a little bit in future years, kind of like he seems to be into Michael Jackson. Maybe he'll do the same thing. Maybe he'll get that same Clorox bleach job.
That's Ludovico, baby.
Is that what that is? Man, oh man, we only could pray that he'd wake up looking like that tomorrow. Then we'd know that there was a God. Make no mistake about that. Wow. You've got to take a look at that, people. NYPost.com, O.J. blames Nicole. It's under the news stories there. You got to click on that link. O.J. blames Nicole, and it'll pop up with a story, but then that picture with the caption O.J. Simpson under it. What is that? What is it?
I don't know.
Man, that is a disgusting thing. WQAM, hello.
Name for your poll?
Yes, sir.
Dom DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise is an excellent one. Nobody don't like Dom DeLuise. Thank you. And, of course, Dom DeLuise's most famous line that he never said but nevertheless.
Get the honey, Junior.
Which he never said either. If you didn't see Fatso, you better go see it, especially all you fat slobs out there like me. Go see Fatso. And the interesting part of it is in the end of the movie, after he's married happily and has all those kids and the whole deal, and they show that little, as they're running the credits, they show the montage of clips from when he was so old and then older, and he's like fat and skinnier and fatter again, like an accordion, like a human accordion.
Sure.
I can't stop the fat.
I feel sorry for me.
Yeah, he's great, old Dom DeLuise. She's pretty good.
Ironically,
yes,
he's 3 times the size now than he was when he made that movie.
Exactly. I know some people like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to start in on the beast again, but in fact, if I were you, here's a little message for both of you guys. Don't be in the studio. Don't be around on the day when he blows up. Yeah.
I have a pair of goggles that
It's not going to be a pretty sight, believe me, and it won't be safe either.
I saw that movie.
WQAM, hello. Not there. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, 2 names for you.
Yeah, 2, okay.
Sidney Greenstreet.
Yeah.
And Ariel Sharon.
All right, Sidney Greenstreet for all you real old-timers. Did we put Orson Welles on?
I thought we did.
Yes, we did. Ariel Sharon. Did we put him on there?
Yes. We got 0.
Well, just don't get militant about it. He just went on there a couple of minutes ago. 207 votes. Orson Welles don't have any. Neither does the fat Jerry Lewis. Dave Dixon's got 1. You know whose vote that is?
Who?
Me. Well, I just voted for him because I knew nobody else would. John Goodman, 2. Now, let's see. If these fat people... Although that's really not fair because a lot of them are... Well, no, Orson Welles died from fat and smoking, too. He smoked like... I think he probably died from lung cancer before the fat got him. But let's take a look at how many of these people are dead, okay? John Candy, 77 votes, dead. Jackie Gleason, 37, dead. Chris Farley, 29 votes, dead. John Belushi, 16 votes, dead. So the first 4 are all dead, and 3 of them died long before their time from fat. Jackie Gleason, I don't remember how old he was when he died.
Right.
Huh?
I don't know.
But he wasn't like a young man.
No. But he wasn't an old man either.
Kelly Craig, 13. Kelly's still alive. Come on, lose an ounce, Kelly, please. Jerry Garcia, dead, 8. The Fat Neil Rogers, 8. Still alive. Big Wilson, dead, 7. What?
The Fat Neil Rogers, 8 and 8.
And 8. Marlon Brando, 7. Fat Rush Limbaugh, 3. How is Marlon Brando still alive? Wow.
Oh, Will.
How'd you like to be at the Emerald Coast with Marlon Brando and with Dom DeLuise?
As long as they're buying.
Fat Rush Limbaugh, 3. John Goodman, 2. Fat Elvis, 2, dead. Dom DeLuise, 1, still alive, but we have no idea. Dave Dixon, 1, dead. Orson Welles, dead. And the fat Jerry Lewis hanging on by a thread and not dead yet. Boy, they're going to be mourning in Paris, man, when he dies. WQAM, hello.
Hi, John Belushi.
John Belushi, we got John Belushi, and work on that accent, okay? Needs a lot of help.
I have no life.
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes.
This is Ann Bishop. I have come back.
Oh, and how about the fat Ann Bishop?
She wasn't so much fat as she was just gnomish.
I think your memory is failing you. She was pretty exotic. But if you say so, we won't put her on there.
I mean, I know she was plump.
She was she was unpleasantly plump. Okay.
We can put Ann Bishop on there. I mean,
no, don't put her on.
Okay, don't put her on.
WQAM, hello. Not there. QAM, hello.
Yeah, I got for the poll.
Yes, sir.
Luciano Pavarotti and Rerun from What's Happening.
And who's the other one?
Rerun from What's Happening.
If you don't know his name, we can't put him on there.
Yeah, we don't know what his name is. Anyway, Luciano Pavarotti, okay, for all you pseudo-intellectual. Oh, and by the way, speaking of pseuds, you know, remember all the crying, wah, wah, when TMI, when Cox took the classical music off of there and put on MIB, or what did they make? No, Party Radio.
Party.
And Party's not doing all that great, I should point out. But at any rate, WKAT in this last trend, I notice, you can't find their numbers with a surge party. I think like a 0.1 was their, that was one of their higher numbers. That's a 0.1, as in 0.1%. So all those people that were whining, maybe they took my advice. Maybe they actually went out there because their classical music crowd is supposed to be the people with a few bucks. Maybe they went out there to their nearby record store, hopefully not Blockbuster, and they picked up a bunch of CDs and they listened to whatever they like. You know, Bach and Brahms and Beethoven and Mozart and all of that other pseudo-intellectual crap.
Or, dare I say, you know, they have several classical channels on that XM and Sirius, I understand.
Get serious.
No.
And also, even like on my cable, for example, almost all the cable, or like if you have DirecTV.
All of them. DirecTV and cable, all of them.
Type in your DirecTV to your orifice, man, and crank up your old Mozart.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Now, you see, it's 11 o'clock. I screwed up. Now, the line 12 wasn't ringing, was it?
No. I didn't.
But it is going to ring.
We hope.
Well, I know because Dave is always very punctual. I almost forgot the whole darn thing there. Anyway, here's one that says two more names for your list. Buddy Hackett and Alfred Hitchcock. Two excellent ones. Both dead, by the way. Now, Buddy Hackett wasn't like young. He wasn't ancient, right?
Right.
Alfred Hitchcock was ancient. He lived a long time. He was kind of like the Weinstein Churchill of the movies. He lived a long time. He was a real pervo. That's what the Tippi Hedren's been telling everybody.
Right.
Anybody who would listen, and all the other actresses, too. He was always pawing and clawing.
Yeah, well.
Louis Anderson, who may be the worst game show host of all time, and is he like a stand-up comedian? What is his shtick? What does he do?
He started out as a stand-up comedian. I saw one of his routines, and it was actually funny, but that was 100 years ago.
Well, he seems like he might have been funny 100 years ago, Louis B. Anderson. He's just a horrible game show host.
Survey said?
Yeah. And it just
goes
wasn't his
to show you, you know.
Yeah. Louis B. Anderson, okay, let's get his fat ass on there, too, all right. Okay, I'm watching that line 12 frantically, and I probably should have done that. I zigged where I should have zagged. Because it's exactly 11 o'clock, and I know for the Derby,
right?
You could have set the atomic clock. You could have said Big Ben by the time that line 12 started ringing.
Maybe he's stuck in the toilet.
Huh?
Maybe he's stuck in the toilet.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, sometimes, you know, you just can't leave when you want to.
I see.
There it is.
Now now see, there he is. So a few seconds. What's a few seconds among friends, right? Here's Dave Johnson, who's like about 4 seconds late. How you doing, Dave?
Is Smarty there?
Smarty ass is here, yeah. You got it. Now, while we're at it, before we get into the Belmont stuff, the horsing around stuff, you might, I'm sure you got some name. The poll question we have today: who is your favorite all-time fat person, dead or alive? And we've got people like John Candy and Marlon Brando and people like that. You got a
how about Theodore Roosevelt? He was fat, wasn't he?
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Leave it to you to come up with something like off the wall like that.
Is that, well, you know, that's pretty good. I guess it's off. Well, it's funny, I was an American history major.
Were you?
Yeah.
Until you met Howard Cosell.
Not a great combination.
Until you met Howard, and then it all went down the tubes. Then you drew a blank. At any rate, we're not going to talk about Howard Cosell. We want to be in a good mood. Tomorrow's the big day, 2 to 5 in the morning line. The only thing that gives me a little bit pause on that is that back in 79, Spectacular Bid was 1 to 5 in the morning line for the Belmont.
You know, I got a new angle on Spectacular Bid. Ronnie Franklin this week had a teleconference, and he talked about how he had spent a lot of time with Buddy Delp and Ronnie Franklin the week before the Belmont of 79.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they were intent on breaking Secretariat's record.
Right.
Either the breaking the 31 lengths or breaking the time.
Right.
You know, I'd never heard that or thought about it.
Oh, I always thought of that because Buddy Delp talked so big that this was the greatest horse ever, And I really believe that he sent Ronnie Franklin out there to win by 50 lengths and just demolish. And of course, he ran the horse out, and at the top of the stretch, he choked like a dog, and Coastal went by him. But
exactly.
I think, you know, and then of course that's why I had to come up with a safety pin story, and then Ronnie Franklin was a bad jockey, and it was his mistake. But I think it was Buddy Delp all along.
Well, I think it was a combination of the two of them. But also they were terribly overconfident. Spectacular Bid was a great horse.
Yeah.
And the farther we get away from him, the better. But he should have won the Triple Crown, Neil.
No question about it. Yeah. There always has been an angle on all of these. For example, with Seattle Slew, it was always Jean Crouget, and everybody was saying, oh, we hope the Frenchman doesn't fall off. And I remember, which race was it? Was it in the Belmont or was it in the Kentucky Derby where he stood up before the finish line and saluted the crowd?
I think it was the Belmont.
Yeah, the Belmont when he won the Triple Crown, and he kind of stood up in a sack because he won by open lengths, and he's like waving his whip, and people are holding their breath like, oh, please, Jean, don't fall off now before the finish line.
It's interesting that the Turcotte and John Crouget, you know, the two riders that will not go down in history as the greatest riders, you know, they rode Triple Crown winners.
Right. And Stuart Elliott, who would have ever thought? And I remember back before the Derby, you were saying he's definitely going to go from obscurity into being like a big name.
Are we the only two broadcasters that picked Smarty Jones in all of the races before the Derby? I mean, you know, everybody jumped on the bandwagon, but we were there before.
Amen. Well, it's about time. We've only had about 50 years of doing this sooner or later. Now, this race tomorrow makes me want to purge a little bit. These other guys that are like Master David, they put him in there now. It almost seems as though we got some trainers who don't think that they're going to win, but they want to try to find a way to make Smarty Jones lose, which bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, I only see a couple horses. Well, first of all, maybe Smarty Jones can only beat himself.
Yeah.
Maybe. And if he does, I could only see Purge, Rock Hard 10, and possibly Eddington. The other horses shouldn't be in there.
Right. I think it's going to be Rock Hard 10 is going to be second now. Patrick Valenzuela was supposed to ride him. I read about that.
Right.
And he can't because he didn't turn up at the drug test again. You know, Patrick Valenzuela's had more chances than he ever really can. I mean, it's just amazing. Am I right about that? How many different chances he's had to come back?
Yeah, and Solis is not a regular at Belmont Park. I mean, right. I think if you look at the jockeys that are there, I mean, wouldn't Jerry Bailey be the top jockey on the top, one of the top competitors, Eddington?
Yeah, but Alex Solis is no slouch, boy. He's a good jockey.
And this horse, for people that watch this thing on TV, Rock Hard 10 is over 17 hands high. A hand is about 4 inches, and the little horse, Smarty Jones, is only 15.3. So I mean, there is a real disparity between the size of these two horses.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them if they get together.
I think Rock Hard 10 is going to come roaring down the stretch to be second by about 12 lengths. I mean, he'll still be way behind Smarty Jones, but I can see that now. That's probably the way they're going to run from well behind.
So you think Smarty Jones will win by 12?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Boy, I hope he does. I don't think it'll solve the problems of racing, but it'll sure be a nice shot in the arm.
Yeah, and especially with all the depressing stuff going on in the world today and all the negative crap going on, I think, we need something like this. It's good for racing, and it's good general for the psyche of the public, too.
I have a couple racetrack buddies that are going to bet everything in the race to show. I mean, people are saying that Smarty Jones is going to win. Can you imagine the millions that are going to be bet on this horse to show? And if by any chance he doesn't hit the board, the show prices will be $100, $200.
Yeah, the bridge jumpers are all going to be out for that.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Is he going to go off, you think, 1 to 9, 1 to 5?
1 to 5, and we're supposed to get rain tomorrow.
Oh, really? Now that should help because he ran in rain in the Derby.
Oh, he runs on anything.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. He's run on 8 different distances and 5 different racetracks, and he doesn't seem to need to bring his racetrack with him. He's really a special horse. Would it be great though to see him run as a 4-year-old?
Well, they were making overtures toward that the other day. I read some articles where they were saying, they're going to run him after the Belmont again, win or lose, and then it's possible that they're going to run him as a 4-year-old. I'd love to see that. Now, Affirmed ran as a 4-year-old because, see, that was great in the 70s. Not only did we get spoiled with 3 and almost 4 Triple Crown winners in one decade, but we had horses that were running as 4-year-olds too. Seattle Slew, I remember beating Affirmed. I remember Affirmed beating Spectacular Bid.
Those were some great times.
Yeah, those were great races. That was really in the heyday of racing.
Yeah, and Exceller ran in a big race with Affirmed and Seattle Slew, I think. Oh boy, there were some great matchups.
In fact, the Affirmed Aladar Triple Crown, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again.
That was my first Derby. my first calling of the Derby.
Really?
Oh boy, what a way to start, huh?
I can remember the late Chick Anderson calling to Belmont, and where he said, we'll test these two to the wire, remember that?
Yeah.
And he said, Aladar's got a lead, he put a nose in front right in the middle of the stretch, and I always got the feeling that the public, for whatever reason, was rooting for Aladar, and I loved Affirmed. I thought Affirmed was just a beautiful horse.
Aladar was favored in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of sentimental attention to Aladar because of the Mrs. Markey, the very elderly woman that owned Calumet at the time.
Yeah.
You know, the old lady in the wheelchair.
But at least she wasn't breathing oxygen out of a tube in her nose, though. You know, we've gone another step beyond that this time. It's a little bit scary to watch him, you know, when the horse is in the stretch and pulling away like he did in the Preakness there. And you just you're thinking to yourself, please don't die now. Just don't get too carried away.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, aren't you thinking that? Come on.
I'm watching the race.
That's right. You're calling the race. I forgot about that. Well, listen, Smarty Jones by 12 and Rock Hard 10 for my Perfecta. And you're going to pick who for second? It sounds like Eddington.
You know what? I'll go with. You've talked me into it. How about let's go for the trifecta. Come on. I mean, you know, I'll take Purge third. Who will you take? Who you want?
Well, you talked me into Eddington, so we can't pick the same thing. That's boring. So we'll both pick Smarty Jones on top of Rock Hard 10, and you'll pick Purge third, and I'll pick the 8 Eddington third with Jerry Bailey.
Okay.
Just as long as we keep Pat Day out of there, but I don't want to go into that.
I'll see you at the window.
Okay. Thanks a lot,
Best of luck. Always great talking to you, Neil.
Take care. Say hi to Hank.
Bye.
See ya. Here's Dave Johnson. We got the Belmont tomorrow. It's pretty exciting. Even George is all whipped up about it, I'm sure, that he's running right now to place his advanced bet at Pompano Park.
What's that?
And by the way, don't we have let me take a look at that. It would seem to me, because I'm sure that they got a special thing going on at Pompano. I don't want to give anybody any free spots, but sure I do. Let me take a look at that copy. Yeah, there's no spot on the log today. Troy. Did Troy make a entrance in there this morning or something?
No.
Well, that's pretty embarrassing because I know darn well that they're supposed to be running a spot today, and for some reason it didn't make it on the log. Now, see, this is one of the reasons, Scarana, we don't have any business on the air is because people that want to be running spots, they're not on the air. You follow what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
That kind of makes it a little bit difficult to make any money when you got people, clients that are supposed... Because this copy even says on it, 6-3 and 6-4, which is yesterday and today. I'm going to do the spot now. And if they don't want to pay for it, that's fine because it's not on the log. And if they're not scheduled, that's okay too. But I know darn well that they want to promote this because they do it for all the Triple Crown races. It's a good thing we just did that thing with Dave because it saves our friends at Pompano Park from embarrassment. And Troy, my good friend too. Man, what is wrong with that sales department? Very seriously. I mean, you know, how long can this
Nobody cares.
Huh?
Nobody cares.
Troy! No, nobody cares. All they care about is, oh, well, will you do this for me? Will you do that for me? Like Screw-Ann in there sucking around this morning. She wouldn't, if she knew I was going to rip OJ in ass, she probably would have been standing out in the hallway whispering. Man, that bitch is really something. Anyway, all you racing fans, this Saturday, June 5th, sounds like tomorrow to me, Pompano Park will feature simulcasting of the Belmont Stakes as Smarty Jones looks to make history in his quest to remain unbeaten and win the Triple Crown. And you can watch, wager, and enjoy history in the making right at Pompano Park. Pompano Park is featuring an early bird wagering on the Belmont Stakes starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And both today and tomorrow, Pompano Park will have free past performance pages for the Belmont field. Tomorrow, it's not just the Belmont Stakes, but Dollar Night for draft beer, Pepsi, sodas, hot dogs, and more. Dollar Night is now every Saturday all summer long. And Troy, you are an idiot. Located just a half mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike, Pompano Park's easy to get to, and best of all, Pompano Park features free admission, free general parking every day, just like this spot might be free too, and who cares? Live harness racing in the poker room is open every Friday and Saturday, like today. Poker starts at noon and goes on till midnight. Live racing gets underway nightly at 7:25 in the p.m. Pompano Park is also open every day, 7 days, nights a week, for the best in simulcasting, harness, thoroughbred, highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts on. Watch out for Brad Kramer. He's whipping and slashing in the stretch. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For the current race schedule, just call 954-972-2000 or go online at pompanopark.com. Don't forget, watch and plunge on a Belmont. You can start betting early bird wagering 1 o'clock this afternoon, and, of course, get your free past performance pages, too, for the Belmont Field today and tomorrow at Pompano Park.
We're Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Were you drudge packing?
Tonight on Fox, it's the long-awaited conclusion of American Idol.
The votes have been tallied. America has spoken.
Guest star George Bush sings The Who.
People try to put us
talking about cut, Jim?
try to put us
talking about my generation talking about my generation before we grow old, talking about my generation my generation. What do you think of me?
It just was terrible, dude. Terrible.
You are the worst singer in the world.
Nice voice.
Thanks.
Very nice.
The conclusion of American Idol.
Well, congratulations. You're now as intelligent as a pig.
That's a fact.
Tonight on Fox.
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, you got it. 11:15. Don't forget, join the Mad Dog this afternoon at 2. He'll be doing a show live from the Hooters in Doral, or maybe on tape from the Hooters in Doral. Stop by to win QM prizes, which aren't much, but you can enjoy Heineken beer specials all during the show too, and get blitzed with the Mad Dog. Then join the QM Cuties tonight, 8 to 10 at the Village Grill and Pump. Am I reading that correctly? Is there like a comma in there?
Josh?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Join the QM Cuties tonight at the Village Grill and Pump.
Pump it up. Okay, I will.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We better not say that. In fact, where the hell is my good friend?
Go in the locker room and pump.
There you go. Anyway, that's located off Commercial and A1A. Stop by for prizes and specials on Beck's beer, so all the beer all the time. Let's see, what about Curly? As in the Larry Curly and
Absolutely.
Mo. You want to put Curly on there?
Curly Howard, Curly Fine, Paging Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
What was his name?
I don't know. Curly
Mo Howard.
Mo D.
Mo Howard Davided.
Larry
Curly,
Fine.
I don't know. Just put Curly on there, and you can put Three Stooges in parentheses. The fat pornographer, it's a... Al Goldstein, your close personal friend.
I'm a fat Jew.
That's the one. It's a gay club, you moron. I guess they wanted to hear that.
That's a gay club, you moron.
Right. He's trying to talk Junior Seau into getting back in the showers. Jay says, I'd like to... Oh, yeah, here's an excellent one. Thank you, Jay. Chef Paul Prudhomme. Man, he reminds me an awful lot of Dom DeLuise. You ever see the two of them together? In fact, the first time that I saw him on TV, I thought it was Dom DeLuise.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do. He's that New Orleans chef. He's on the cooking shows. You've seen him.
Okay.
Huh?
Is he the one that says Cajun cayenne pepper?
Yeah, something like that. Now, he's a big, fat, huge guy. Looks a lot like Dom DeLuise. Just a big-ass chef. He's the chef that's so fat he rides around on a scooter, yet still in the kitchen eating himself to death. Good one, Jay. Okay, there's a couple more for you. And here's one that says Oliver Hardy. Now, did we put Teddy Roosevelt on there, which I guess Dave was serious? Huh?
Yes, we did.
Well, he was fat. In fact, William Howard Taft was fat, too. Might as well put him on if we're going to put presidents on. William Howard Taft. He was fat and daft. Or dead. Let's see. Your favorite fat person of all time, alive or dead, but most of them are dead. John Candy, 100. He's got it made. John liked his candy and everything else. Jackie Gleason, 52. Chris Farley, 44. John Belushi, 27. Fat Neil Rogers, 17. I'm moving up. Kelly Craig, 14. I just hopped over you, Kelly. Jerry Garcia, 11. Marlon Brando, 8. He is gigantic. Big Wilson, 8. Dom DeLuise, 7. John Goodman, 5. Dave Dixon, 5. The Fat Elvis, 4. Not to be confused with the Skinny Elvis. Fat Rush Limbaugh, 4. Sidney Greenstreet, 3. Alfred Hitchcock, 3. Curly from the Three Stooges, 1. Orson Welles, 1. Buddy Hackett, 1. Teddy Roosevelt's got 1. And none yet for Louis V. Anderson. Sally Struthers, I didn't realize we put Sally on there. Luciano Pavarotti, or the fat Jerry Lewis, out of 316 votes. We just don't like Jerry Lewis fat or skinny, period, no more. Used to like him.
Right. He was
okay.
Yeah,
Used to like Martin and Lewis. In fact, he was liked him a lot better than Dean Martin.
That's another one of those in their day kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not lasting. If you watch those movies now, just forget about that.
Like,
although, what was the movie that Jerry Lewis was in that everybody raves about that I've never watched?
The Delicate Delinquent?
No, I'm serious. Oh, come on.
The King of Comedy?
Yeah, King of Comedy. Wasn't that supposed to be a great movie?
Yeah, with Robert De Niro. Everybody raved about it. You're right. And it was just very weak, mild, and boring.
Well, thank goodness I missed that. 5670560. Got a lot of OJ stuff here. And of course on Monday, which actually will be the anniversary, and Greta Van Brown Susteren will be on Fox, hyperventilating with OJ with that interview that they taped. Wonder if he slices her neck in there. Oh, man.
All right.
We go for that. WQAM, hello.
Mr. Rogers, how you doing?
Yes, sir, Mr. Caller. How you doing?
Okay. I got one that probably should have made the list, but it didn't. What about Anna Nicole Smith?
Oh, Anna Nicole, but she's your favorite?
Yeah, I like her.
Okay, well, you must be the one.
Got like a radar, like a satellite dish, and down below there. You could kind of
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't get it.
You don't wanna, okay? Back in the day, I might have explained it to you, but you don't wanna, so just move right on.
Well, draw me a picture.
No thanks. I don't have that much paper. At any rate, let's get her on here, okay? I guess he likes her. Again, keep in mind, not just name a bunch of fat people.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm starting to catch on now. I'm a little slow.
How many fat people
name us a bunch
you
of fat people. No, the question is, who is your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? Now, you notice nobody's mentioned Rosie O'Donnell because everybody hates her. In this audience, anyway. Nobody's mentioned Roseanne Barr because probably everybody hates her like poison. Who the hell would like her? John Goodman got a vote, but not Roseanne Barr. There are so many fat people, most of them dead. How about Toady Fields? I'm not saying put her on the list, but there was one, Toady Fields, who used to champion the idea that, just like that book I was telling you about the other day, you can be fat and nothing wrong with being fat. Right. Fat is beautiful. Whatever. Just like Shirley Tweeters with all that crap. I wonder if she's still alive.
I'm tired of trying.
Here's that book right here, Big Fat Lies. Learn the astonishing facts, the truth about your weight and your health. Glenn A. Gasser, it's a gas, takes on the fat phobia that permeates so much of the research about obesity and health, and basically what he says is, you can be fat and healthy.
Oh, my God.
Right. In fact, it says that right on the back jacket here. It says, people can be fat and fit. There is no connection between fat-clogged arteries and obesity. Thinner is not necessarily healthier. But when you're using Miss Twiggy and Karen Carpenter as a barometer, I guess it's not too tough to figure that out. Good body fat protects you from heart disease. You can achieve your natural weight without dieting, and dieting can cause you weight gain. That's if you eat too many yo-yos.
Yeah, sure.
Yo-yos and ho-hos, man, that'll do it. I'm really excited, proud of myself that I got that Pompano Park spot on, because I know it was supposed to run, and probably was supposed to run yesterday, too. In fact, maybe we'll have to run another Make Good later, although I already tore it up. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. WQAM, hello.
How about Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty Rhodes, okay. How about Dusty Rhodes? You want to put Dusty Rhodes on there or not?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why the hell not?
From my childhood.
How about... No, she's not fat. Although I'll tell you somebody who was pretty exotic, the one or two times I saw her. Speaking of Randy Wannabe, the Babbling Brook, although she was far from my favorite.
Hey, she's not a Randy Rhodes clone, that's what she said.
Exactly, sure. WQAM, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir? Yes, sounds like you.
Oh, okay. W.C. Fields and
Right.
Haystack Calhoun.
We're going to name all the fat wrestlers. Excellent.
Right, all right. Haystack Calhoun and W.C. Fields, who had the right idea about little kids, by the way. Just keep them shut up and stuck them off in the broom closet somewhere, get them out of my face. And I'm with him on that. Not that I hate little kids. I just don't want to be around them when they're screaming and carrying on and making a big fuss, especially like on an airplane, things like that.
Or
you know
movies.
Like in an enclosed space, it's not a good idea. Right. Or just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Keep them out of my face. WQAM, hello.
I have the wealthiest fat person for the list.
Yes? Go ahead.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey, okay, that's a good choice, I guess. I guess there's somebody out there will like her. Quite frankly, on this show, we can't stand
Oprah.
No. Because she's talentless. She does nothing. There is the luckiest person on the face of the earth, bar none. I mean, I know you don't like Bill Gates, but at least he did something somewhere. So,
yeah, he stole other people's ideas.
Oh, okay, but at least he did that. Give him that. But what has she done?
She showed
Other
up.
than spell her name backward there at the end of the show with her Harpo Productions. What has she done besides make those,
She said girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, girl, you go, girlfriend, and just sit there and yuck it up and, oh my God. It's just, that's the reason that the women of America have just been led down the garden path. I would much rather that the women were watching Jerry Springer than Oprah any day of the week. At least Jerry Springer's got some, comic relief.
Right.
But Oprah, there just ain't nothing there. But she's got her book list and the women are running out there. They're racing to the store. Whatever Oprah says, brother, based on what? Based on the fact that she's such a wonderful human being, that she's so well adjusted and married and with children and a family and all of that stuff? Maybe she's a dyke, you think?
No idea.
And, of course, do we really care?
No.
It's a disgusting thought. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Y'all go to Neil?
Speaking.
Neil?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I got a couple of
Fat people.
Yeah. I know you don't like rap, but Biggie Smalls is one of them, okay?
Biggie Smalls, yeah.
Okay, and the other one, I'm thinking of Paulie from Goodfellas.
Paulie from Goodfellas. Okay, what's the actor's name? George.
Paulie from Goodfellas?
Yeah, I can see him. Big fat Paulie. He was one of the, when they were in the bar.
Paul Sorvino?
Paul Sorvino, I guess that's who it is. Is that who played Paulie? I don't know. I know who he's talking
See, there are all these Paulies in all these Italian movies. I don't have them all straightened out.
Oh, you're thinking about the wrong Paulie.
That's it. I'm telling you.
You're thinking about the one that sold the old man out.
Oh, Paulie won't see him no more.
Yeah, say it again.
Oh, Paulie won't see him no more.
I love it. Seriously, I know that I'm obsessed with Godfather, but it's just that every scene, I mean, it's so brilliantly written and done, and I did read the book before I saw the movie. The book was even better than the movie, which it usually is. But every single scene, every character, every actor and actress, this is why Godfather 3 took it really so bad, and deservedly so, because even though the story was powerful and really very compelling and needed to be told, and there was a lot of really great stuff in it, it's just that there was no room for bad acting in the Godfather saga. It's like if you're having a great meal and you have a fantastic appetizer and a juicy, delicious steak or a lobster or something, and then the dessert is a piece of crap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's just no room for that. It has to be perfection. You have to live up to that standard, which wasn't easy to do on a real budget, on a shoestring. But again, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Two men sue alleging abuse by seminarian. Two Harris County, Texas residents filed a civil lawsuit claiming that a Catholic seminary student molested them in the mid-90s when he was training at St. Francis de Sales Catholic Church to be a priest.
Oh, my God.
The two unidentified men, now 21 and 22, claim that Juan Carlos Patino Arango molested them when they were 8th graders at the Paris school, according to the suit. Well, listen, he wanted to be a priest, right?
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect. Makes defect.
This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Bastard. Oh, it's my grandma's birthday, and I have no idea what to get her.
Yo, need a gift as unique as the person who receives it? A gift that says, you the bomb. Give them a pimp name from the International Pimp Name Registry.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Look what I got you.
Oh, what's this? It says, Edna Bergmeister, you now be Flavor Fresh Tasty E. Oh, I always wanted a pimp name.
For only $49.95, the International Pimp Name Registry will select a unique pimp name for a special somebody in your life, be they old or be they young.
Happy birthday, Timmy. We got you a pimp name.
Yay, now I'm little T-Dog. Now back up off my grill, yo.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Everybody on your pimp name gift list is going to receive a certificate. It's engraved with their new pimp name. And they get a fur hat and a gold tooth, too.
Grandma already had the Cadillac. Now she's got the name to go along with it. Thanks, International Pimp Name Registry.
For shizzle. My pimp hand is strong, my nizzles.
I hope mine is interesting and self-serving.
There you go, Bubba. A tear almost comes to my eye when I see him on there. He's doing his book tour now.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it make you almost want to cry? Makes me very sad. You know that song by Ralph Donner, You Don't Know What You've Got Until You Lose It?
Right.
Lou Costello, somebody says for our poll, as in Abbott and Costello. Bud Abbott, Lou Costello. As in Who's on First.
What?
You never saw that routine, Who's on First?
Of course, that's what I'm saying, what? And
well, there you go. Oh, what's on? Well, it's a baseball thing, so quite frankly, I thought maybe we were a little bit over your head, out of your league.
By the way, I don't watch.
Well, what does that mean?
I know how to play the game. I just don't watch other people do it.
Oh, some people like to play and watch. Anyway, speaking of that, Juan Carlos Patino Arango, that story I just did, he's listed as a Tampa, Florida resident. I just mentioned that in passing. And a retired Roman Catholic priest and a former priest have been, this is chopped off, have B-Man, who say they sexually abused him when he was a boy. A lawsuit was filed Tuesday against Monsignor Thomas O'Brien, now 77 and retired, and Thomas M. Reardon. Is that really his name?
Rectum.
Reardon, 62, left the priesthood in 89. Several other men filed suits against him in January as well. In the new lawsuit, a plaintiff identified as John B. Doe also said the priest gave him something when he was a boy, and they harassed him in later years. See, it would be interesting to see the rest of that story, what's off the right side. Sometimes the last couple of words are the most important ones, but unfortunately they don't happen to be here. The man said they demanded sexual acts from him between 1970, when he was 13, and something else, return a loan he got from them. The lawsuit also says they tried to blackmail him something with information about marijuana use. Reardon has denied previous allegations for his attorney, Matthew O'Connor, and didn't return a call Wednesday. O'Brien's also denied, etc. So there you go. All the pre-stories all the time. How many thousand?
About 30, man.
30,000 of these episodes that we got so far, and probably a whole bunch of many thousands others. You won't hear from them. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they already killed themselves.
Oh, by the way, speaking of, it's not a priest, but it's along those lines. I just emailed you a story that somebody emailed to me.
Yeah, about
a radio host and kiddie porn, and it's one of these American families.
No, I've got that.
Oh, you do?
What is wrong with you?
Well, where do we start?
I told you that before the show started today, although maybe I lost the story, because I was going to start at the beginning of the story with that.
Well, I
Where
forgot
the hell
already.
is it?
That was hours ago.
Don't you remember I told you that? He's from the American Family Council.
That's the one. Sorry.
Yeah, with, oh, brother, what did I do with that? Now, it's a good thing. Maybe it's a blessing. No, seriously, maybe I lost it. Wouldn't be the first time I lost it. I lost such a pile of crap here. Let's see, O.J. blames Nicole. I mean, when you got a pile of crap, there's Junior Seau again, who's still doing his fag talk. Maybe we could put him on the air, a show called Faggot Talk. That would probably get an 80 share in this town. I don't know. Can't find it. So it's a good thing. Thank you, whoever sent that to us, because it's probably a psychic inspiration,
Thanks,
knowing
man.
that I screwed up. Maybe I already Schmidt-canned it. You know me. I have this habit of tearing stuff up and making it disappear real fast, which I'd love to do with Screw Ann.
Tear it up.
I just can't find it. So thank you profusely. We'll get to it. Unless you want to read it.
No, I don't have it open anymore.
Oh,
sent it off and closed it.
Anyway, the Enquirer didn't just report this story. We became a key part of it. Is with all this OJ heavy intensive stuff. Nobody, it says, not that they're self-serving, you understand, but nobody covered the OJ Simpson murder case like the Enquirer. Our exclusives, one after another, were so impressive that the media elite made the Enquirer's coverage a story in itself. And one of our scoops was so important it even changed the outcome of one of O.J.'s trials. In our first story, following the June 12, 1994 murders of Simpson's ex-wife Nicole and Ron Goldman, we revealed how shaken Nicole had confided to therapist Dr. Susan Forward her fears that O.J. would kill her one day. Remember Dr. Susan Forward?
No.
She knew this story forward and backward.
Oh.
Just weeks after the double killing, we revealed that Nicole and O.J. fought by telephone the day of the murders, an argument that may have signed her death warrant. It wasn't until nearly a year later that L.A. prosecutors charged the same thing in court papers. The Enquirer's report revealing that 6 weeks before the murders, O.J. purchased a knife believed to be the murder weapon, made global headlines. In November 94, the Enquirer reported exclusively that DNA test revealed the blood of both victims in O.J.'s Bronco. We know that Mark Furman just put it there. He just smeared it. It was the most damning evidence against the former football star. It took 2 months for the rest of the media to catch up. The Enquirer's publication of Nicole's heart-wrenching diaries of her abuse at O.J.'s hands brought praise from the media and thanks from the battered women's groups across America. The Enquirer even told the world how O.J. begged girlfriend Paula Barbieri to marry him in jail while the trial unfolded, a story later confirmed by Paul on national TV. Now here's the part that I like the best, is those ugly shoes, those ass ugly, whatever the hell they call them. Right. Molly. Don't start again with your Italiano needs some serious
Do it
work.
on purpose. Jeez.
Anybody that would say, no, I was talking to Van Diesel about that last week, and he said, man, you sure don't know you're about Molly. Then in April 23rd, 96 issue, after Simpson's acquittal at his criminal trial, the Enquirer published a scoop of scoops, a photo of O.J. wearing the same rare shoes, those ugly-ass shoes that left bloody footprints at the murder scene. See, all of these things are just a coincidence.
Right.
I mean, black people they're always railroaded for crap that they didn't do. During a deposition for the civil suit, Simpson had denied ever owning a pair of Bruno Mollies, the expensive Italian designer shoes that had left the footprint. But before the civil trial, the Enquirer conducted an exhaustive search reviewing thousands of photos of O.J. taken the year leading up to the murders when he was doing color commentary for professional football games. That's color, not colored commentary. Most of the photos showed Simpson only from the waist up, but the Enquirer hid pay dirt in a set of photos that captured Simpson full-length strolling through the end zone. In the photo, O.J. is seen walking in full stride, the sole of his Bruno Molly shoe in plain view. A2. Brute. Yeah. The Inquirer's story and accompanying photo became the key piece of evidence in O.J.'s civil conviction February 4th, 1997, and his victims' families were awarded a judgment of $33.5 million. One of O.J.'s criminal defense lawyers was heard breathing a sigh of relief when the Inquirer's story broke. "I'm just glad I didn't have to contend with that during the criminal trial," he muttered. How do you like that? The Inquirer's scoops brought incredible praise from the established media, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and even the Columbia Journalism Review all published major stories acknowledging how the Inquirer beat the rest of the competition. And after the Inquirer's shoe photo impacted the civil trial, Time magazine even named the Inquirer's editor as one of the 25 most influential people in America 97. In October 17, 2000 issue, O.J.'s girlfriend Christy Prody granted the Inquirer a stunning world-exclusive interview in which she revealed that Simpson had confessed to her about the killings. Christy told the Inquirer, "O.J. killed Nicole, and he told me the details." How do you like that? I mean, we all know you done it.
He done it.
And I think that probably suicide would be the appropriate thing right now, O.J. Save us all a lot more grief, and, the Brown family and the Goldman family, they can at least rest in peace maybe one day before they go for their long dirt nap, okay, O.J.? Just blow your brains out, all right? Enough already with your bull crap, with your ego trip. Make us all sick. And as far as your TV show is concerned, I have only one suggestion for O.J. and that stupid TV show.
Forget about it.
That's it. Nice going, Mo.
Forget about it.
Right. Piece of crap.
No, if it was O.J. being chased around by, cannibal pygmies or something.
Yeah, then, for real, like one of those,
right.
That's real life. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. The O.J. fear factor. As O.J. is chased by hippopotami and alligators and wild animals through the, I can just see that.
Take him out to the Everglades.
Through the glades,
see if he can find his way back.
Exactly. With a wild croc. Who... There's nothing like a wild croc. Just ask Greg, he'll tell you one. Who's your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? John Candy, 117, baby. They love you, John. Make a comeback, please. Jackie Gleason, 67. Chris Farley, 54. John Belushi, 32. Can you imagine the girth, the poundage in this list here?
Wow.
With Fat Neil Rogers, I'm moving on up there, 25. I hopped over Kelly Craig like she was on a diet. I got 25. That's the old fat Neil Rogers, keep in mind. Kelly's got 14, the current Kelly. Jerry Garcia, 11. Dom DeLuise, 9. Big Wilson, 8. Hello, Big? Here's a good guy. Marlon Brando, 8. John Goodman, 7. Curly of the Three Stooges, as in Curly, Larry, and...
Absolutely.
Mo, 7. Fat Elvis, 5. Fat Rush Limbaugh, 5. That's before he started popping all them oxys. Dave Dixon, 5. Buddy Hackett, 4. Alfred Hitchcock, 4. Teddy Roosevelt's got 4, Dave. Sidney Greenstreet, 3. Orson Welles got a pair. Fat Anna Nicole Smith, 1. Before she slimmed down to 290. Louis B. Anderson, 1. Sally Struthers, 1. Haystack Calhoun's got 1. Biggie Smalls has 1. At least he used to. William Howard Taft, and look at these that don't have any. Chef Paul Prudhomme, William Howard Taft, Daft, Dusty Rhodes, Oprah, Luciano Pavarotti, W.C. Fields, Fat Jerry Lewis, and Paul Sorvino. Almost 400 votes, just 4 votes shy, 396. And those people ain't got one yet.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
In theaters now, The Day After Tomorrow, starring George W. Bush.
Mr. President, the whole world's covered in ice. You think we made a mistake?
I don't think so.
Mr. President, don't you think pollution was a factor?
Pure and simple. I believed, I repeat. I believed,
Who's to blame for letting this happen on your watch, Mr. President?
Saddam Hussein was responsible.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Then again, I don't have a lot of intelligence.
Oh, no kidding. 11:45, quarter to noon, and we got the Mad Dog doing a show at Hooters this afternoon at 2 o'clock in Doral, no less. So here's that story, and I'm glad they did send this because this is much more complete than the one that I lost anyway. Ex-radio exec to do time for kiddie porn. Tupelo, Mississippi, a former official at American Family Radio.
Oh, my God.
Which regularly warns listeners about the dangers of pornography, must serve 15 years in prison for producing child pornography. In federal court in Aberdeen Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Glenn Davidson sentenced Kerry Dwayne Stevens, 47, of Tupelo, who pleaded guilty to 2 counts of producing child pornography. A law passed by Congress last year requires a 15-year sentence for creating child pornography. Mandatory. It's tragic for everybody involved, said the Reverend Donald Wildman, founder and executive director of the Tupelo-based American Family Association, which started the fast-growing Christian radio network. It's one of those things you wish had never happened. His family was devastated. What kind of a comment is that? You wish it never would have happened.
Isn't that Donald Wildman that goes to the funerals of people who die of AIDS?
No, that's Fred Phelps from
Oh,
Kansas.
sorry, I get them all confused.
You got your right-wing bigots confused.
Sorry.
American Family Radio, with more than 200 stations in 35 states, fired Stevens, who produced a children's show for the network, as director of the children's news. But Wildman said the association has helped to support the family financially through the tragedy. U.S. Attorney Jim Greenlee of Oxford praised the cooperation of Tupelo police and the FBI in the case. The citizens of Tupelo and Mississippi should be glad to know that kiddie porn creators such as Mr. Stevens are being held accountable, he said. Stevens must now register as a sex offender and submit DNA samples. He must also take lie detector tests and undergo psychiatric treatment. On August 23, 2003, 2 California men renting Stevens' home during the Tupelo furniture market spotted images of possible child pornography on a computer disk. While searching for an empty disk, they turned the 2 disks over to Tupelo police. 4 days later, police arrested Stevens, who remarked he had a problem with child pornography but hadn't touched any of the children. Now, I'm curious because the other story I had said that he took pictures of his daughter. This one doesn't say that. So like I said, the other story was not as long, but at any rate. In a letter to U.S. District Representative Roger Wicker, Stevens wrote, I took my eyes off of Jesus for a moment and did something terrible. I took some pictures of one of my daughter's friends. Oh, I see. Suffice it to say that these pictures were of her in various sleeping positions. Let me hasten to add that I never touched her person, nor are there any showing her face, nor was there any involvement with the Internet. I did not do this for personal profit, but from a dark sin. Nor did I touch her because I didn't want to wake her and have her damaged psychologically, and truthfully I didn't want to take a chance of getting caught. Sounds like a scene from Happiness. I know what I did was wrong. Oh, how I wish I could simply undo what I've done, but I can't, he said. The American Family Association, which boasted has more than 2 million members, has made fighting pornography one of its top priorities. How do you like that? We don't want to say the word hypocrite, do we?
No.
No.
Oh, come on, say it.
Oh, hypocrites, liars, BS artists, just like Russian is, let's put all those drug people in prison.
Except for him.
Except for him, all those pill-popping, dangerous people.
Back pain. Got out of hand.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Who's your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? And we're not talking about like Joe Schwartz that lives down the street. We're talking about somebody well-known. Somebody at least 10 people know. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. I have one for the poll.
Okay.
He's more greasy than fat. He goes by RJ. I don't want to say his name because I know he's
Okay,
mad.
great. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Is this the Neil Show?
This is the Neil Show. Yes, sir. You're kneeling on it.
Okay. Just a quick comment. There's a story on Channel 10 News this morning about Christian Elementary School where a student had written in their yearbook in German. They all get to make comments in 8th grade.
Right.
And he had written in German, I think it was death to Jews.
Oh, lovely.
And now you have, outside Key Biscayne Elementary, all the news vans, Channel 4, Channel 7.
Yeah.
I was at the day, and I did hear from various teachers, because my kid goes to school there, this kid is actually a good kid. He did it as a truth or dare from a friend of his.
Right.
And it was basically not correct, but more of a prank than anything.
Yeah.
He's been suspended, and it's going to be, I think, blown out of all proportion.
Well, like it always is, right.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the story.
It's called
We're all camped out there now.
It's called the old media knee-jerk reaction when we don't really know what's behind it and what it was all about.
Exactly.
Thanks for the
There you
bad
go.
news.
You're welcome. Bye.
You sound a little choked up. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Yeah, a little misunderstanding there, and the media will make a big deal. But don't do it again, kid. That's probably not a good idea.
Anti-Semitic punk. Expel him.
Hey, listen, if it's good enough for the president, it's good enough for that kid, okay? Except the ones in Israel, though. We like Israel a lot. We don't like all the rest of the Jews, but we love Israel. That's what, that's what Nixon was always saying. That's what Bush says. Oh, but he's good for Israel. He hates all the other Jews, but he's good for Israel. I just don't get that. But, what do I know? WQAM, hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
has our favorite pornmeister Al Goldstein or our favorite hedgehog made the list yet?
Hedgehog?
The hedgehog of porn, Ron Jeremy.
Oh, Ron Jeremy isn't on there yet, but he is now. Thank you. And Al Goldstein's on there. Thank you. Ron Jeremy. There are people out there like Ron Jeremy, and we found that out today that Al schlepped him into the building, and there were people hyperventilating. You would have thought there was somebody like important in there.
Yeah.
Or somebody that looked really hot. He looked about as hot as a block of ice. Man, oh man. Remember that movie, The Iceman Cometh? I think Ron was in that.
No.
Anna Nicole Smith finally got one. That's good to see. Look at all the people that don't have any yet. They got the big O. We got Luciano Pavarotti, Fat Jerry Lewis, William Howard Taft, Oprah, W.C. Fields, Chef Paul Prudhomme. I can't believe you don't know who that is. Very, very famous guy. He's been on TV a million times.
Yeah, but he's a cooking guy.
But he's not just cooking. He's done a lot of other shows, too. He's a New Orleans celebrity. He's a big celebrity from New Orleans.
Did he endorse those potato chips?
I don't know. Paul Sorvino don't have any, neither does Lou Costello. Poor Lou Costello. What a shame. He was kind of like he reminded me of one of my dead uncles, as a matter of fact.
When he was alive, I assume.
Yeah. I had an uncle, Dave Rubin. He used to remind me of Lou Costello a little bit.
Little pudgy guy?
Yeah, kind of.
Was he funny?
No. Oh. And now they're both dead. Kind of funny looking. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing great, sir.
Hey, happy Friday. Talking to Neil, got one for the poll.
Speaking to him.
Oh, my God, Neil, happy Friday. My favorite comedian, Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison, you won't see him no more.
I'm serious, man, but like you were going on the poll about your favorite, I just didn't want to throw out any fat people. My second favorite comedian, Rick Sanchez, but hey, what can you say?
Okay, thanks. Second favorite Canadian? Oh. In a bitter blow-up with O.J. Simpson, his daughter Sydney exploded in rage, punching her father, screaming, "I hate you!" Then threatening to kill herself by driving off a bridge. The dramatic confrontation came just days before 18-year-old Sydney's high school graduation from the prestigious Gulliver School in Miami, and was triggered by several things, including Sydney's anger at her father after potentially overhearing his murder confession, plus a new dispute with him over her college plans. She's hot, by the way.
Yeah.
The attack was the latest incident in a series of problems. Oh, and by the way, you know who else is incredibly hot is Bush's niece.
He has a niece?
Yeah. She's going to be in some movie or something. Man, I didn't even know he had a niece.
Well, where can I find her? What's her name?
How can he have a niece? Or maybe it's, I don't know.
Maybe it's a niece-in-law.
I don't know what it is. Or I'm telling. Maybe it's what's her name? Maybe she went into rehab. Jeb's daughter.
Noelle.
Maybe Noelle had like a miracle cure or something. No, this I don't know. She was one of the Bushes. And I'm not going to embellish that. I know we can't say it. The attack was the latest incident in a series of problems involving O.J. and Sydney. As the Inquirer reported in February of 2003, a terrified Sydney called 911 and locked herself in her bedroom after Simpson exploded in a fit of rage. What's more, Sydney was temporarily suspended from the Gulliver School for punching a fellow student in 2002. And back when O.J. and his children were living in L.A., Sydney physically attacked O.J.'s girlfriend, Christy Prody, pulling her hair and knocking her to the floor. Poor Sydney's got a lot of problems. She gets angry and physically strikes out at her friends and family, an insider said. I can't imagine why. The latest confrontation between O.J. and Sydney was even worse than previous ones. She had just exploded on O.J. It was a very bad scene, the insider revealed. Maybe she didn't want to go to Benihana. She told friends she and O.J. were discussing her going to college. O.J. wanted to go to a school in Florida, was willing to pay up to the $16,000 a year he's been paying for Gulliver, but he refused to pay any more, saying he can't afford it. And that's something. He's paying $16,000 a year to send her to a private, prestigious school, but the Browns and the Goldmans are still getting squat.
That's because he didn't
not a dime. That's why he came to Florida, to hide his money and to play the old Florida game. You miserable, lying piece of crap, you. Got to see this picture of him. You got to go out and get this Inquirer. Leaf through it in the supermarket.
Yeah, is it as good as the other picture on that story we have online right now?
Not that good.
Oh.
And you notice nobody ever called about that? They're probably wondering, what is that? Yeah, there's a picture of him here getting out of it looks like he's getting out of a helicopter or something. I don't know, maybe it's out of a SUV. I don't know. And he looks really bad.
All right.
Oh, that's good news. Sydney has been accepted at Boston University, has her heart set on going there, but that cost is over $30,000 a year.
About 30, man.
When he told her to ask Nicole's parents, Lou and Judith Brown, to release some of the money Nicole put in trust for Sydney, she flipped out. She shouted and slammed doors, screaming at O.J., "I hate you. I'm running away. I can't stand this anymore. I can't do anything I want to do." When O.J. tried to calm her down, Sydney got even angrier, punching him and slapping him. "You go, girl." Sources say there's a haunting reason why Sydney is at odds with her dad. Her family members believe Sydney actually overheard her father confess to the murder of her mom, Nicole, and buried memories of his confession are resurfacing, causing her rage and ongoing fights with O.J., the insider be saying. For a few days after the most recent attack, O.J. and Sidney didn't talk to each other. She walked around the house depressed, sometimes in tears. Finally, she burst into uncontrolled anger at O.J., saying she was going to commit suicide. She cried that if she has to stay in Florida, well, that's enough to make anybody commit suicide. She was going to kill herself. See? Even without O.J., even if you don't even know who the hell he is. If you have to stay in Florida, that's enough to make a lot of people just blow their brains out. She said, I'm going to drive my car off a bridge and get it all over with. I'll be dead like my mother. Another source disclosed O.J. was shocked by his daughter's suicide threats. He's worried that she might actually kill herself. I got an idea, O.J. How about she just forgets about it and you give it a shot?
Or two. This is Sports Radio 560.
Or three.
UAM.
I'm Frau Ileana Ross-Leitman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from jewels and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour. Hey, Kyle!
Time now for another gay Massachusetts wedding we'd like to see.
Do you, Ben Affleck, take Matt Damon to be your lawfully wedded husband?
But I'm not gay.
Yeah, right. Do you, Matt Damon, take Ben Affleck to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Hey, I'm not gay either.
Yeah, sure. I now pronounce you out of the closet.
All right.
12 o'clock, the little hand just hit the big hand at 560 WQM. Mad Dog from Hooters at 2 this afternoon. And we got at 4, unfortunately, the big... Because Hank is at the Belmont, probably doing something for ESPN. He's in New York. Marlins on deck, 6:35. The Marlins at the Mets, 7:10 tonight. And you got the UM Baseball Regionals on AM 790 Waxy for those who care about that. Tom Jicka on QM after the Marlin game. Little Tommy Jicka, who's, well, you know, he is what he is.
What is he?
He is, well, it's really not even worth it, you know, making the effort. I was going to say, but I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Come on, Tommy, fess up. What's the real story there? Why do you refuse to write about the Big 106, about the ratings and about all that stuff? Get with it. Who is your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive? Here's the top 5, and that ain't no jive. John Candy, 128. Jackie Gleason, 75. Chris Farley, 62. John Belushi, 40. Fat Neil Rogers, 35. And you know the interesting part of it is, I'm the only one still alive. Oh! How do you like that? Just barely. Out of the top 5. Well, that's because I ain't quite so fat no mo.
Right.
Ain't really fat. Well, back at IOD, I was like pushing 240.
Right.
Right now I'm 196 this morning, which isn't great, but I mean it's not gargantuan. Like 240 is just a big old tub of crap.
Of course, when you have 3 different places bringing food in every day.
Right. Well, that didn't start at IOD. That started big time at Zeta.
No, but it continued there.
Zeta was brutal. And, of course, at Zeta, you know, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're in there by 5:30 or 5 o'clock, and you're eating lunch at 7 o'clock in the morning. And people wouldn't believe it, but we had, like, Pizza Hut. Who the hell was it? It was, what's his name's brother-in-law? Remember Zoltan in sales?
Mm-hmm.
It was his brother-in-law, or father-in-law, rather. Red was the guy's name. Good guy. How you doing, Red? Hope he's still alive.
No.
He's not?
I don't think so.
Oh, like I said, how do you know that?
I don't know.
Well, why do you say that then?
Because I think I heard something about it.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think you're right. But at any rate, yeah, he was like a manager of one of the Pizza Huts or something, or a regional manager, and he used to bring us all different kinds of pizzas in the morning. Then we had a place where people would bring us cheeseburgers. Where the hell was that one place where we get these big, gigantic cheeseburgers? It was just unbelievable. And then, of course, there was always Ponytail. He was bringing in food. I mean, people would actually, for us, get up early in the morning in restaurants that weren't nearly even open yet, and they'd bring us all kind of food. See, because when you get up at 4 in the morning, by the time it gets to like 8 o'clock, you're ready for lunch. And when you don't eat breakfast at all, then you're ready for like a brunch. Okay, it was just a bad thing. And that IOD it continued. That's the great thing about here is that there ain't nobody bringing me no food. I got my refrigerator in the other, about 10 feet away, but I'm not going in there. I'm not have a little bit of that microwave bacon before the show. But one thing I have discovered for all you diabetics out there who are not breakfast eaters is that if you do eat some protein in the morning, a little, not a big breakfast, but just a little bit of protein, like maybe some bacon or whatever, it stabilizes your blood sugar much better throughout the day as opposed to not eating until later on like lunch.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, you're supposed to eat something when you get up, even though some of us don't like to.
Well, no, but I'm just saying for people that are diabetic especially because it tends to level out your blood sugar better as opposed to having the big rises, those big gigantic jumps, etc. Anyway, it's boring. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We're just reminiscing back in the old really fat days as opposed to now the moderately fat. Yeah, just one day. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Real or fictional on the fat person?
Fictional? No, no fictional. Only real.
I would say Santa Claus.
Yeah, real.
Would have to be it. Also,
real.
I know you're a connoisseur of excellent food. You got to go try out this place called Council Oak at the new Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah.
The steaks are fabulous.
Really?
Yes.
As good as
$83 for a meal, but
who cares about that? I got the big bucks. As good as Ruth Chris?
Better.
Wow.
I would definitely say better.
Okay.
Okay. I went over for my birthday on Monday, and had the T-bone, dry aged prime T-bone shrimp cocktail. It was a fabulous meal.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Pally. Have a happy. 5670560. See, I just get you talking about, there are a lot of food pushers out there, although he's talking about a steak place. Nothing wrong with that, if you're doing the Atkins. I'm not doing any of those. I just, forget about it. I'm just cutting way back, starting as of lunch. Of course, that's still a couple of hours away. I don't know. I just am sour on all of those things.
Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Food.
Well, what does that mean? Don't do food?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
No, I'm no longer sold on, I know the South Beach diet is just a rip-off of Atkins, just a blatant, grotesque rip-off with all those fancy, artsy-fartsy buddies of his. To me, that's just outrageous. In fact, just whistle a tune. I'm going to get the book.
Of course, I was just saying to the wife the other day how tired the rest of us are and all these fat people talking about the Atkins and South Beach diet and how one is similar to the other and what's the difference and who gives a flying crap. All you fat lardos out there, stop eating. Go for a walk. Skip a meal, go for a walk. The rest of us are real bored to tears with all this fat talk.
Guess what?
What?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, can't wait.
I thought I tossed it. No, here it is. Boy, this is really criminal. Let's see, how much Canadian? $35 Canadian. That's criminal. Although it is, comes out the same, $24.95 US. That's, like robbery. And the thing that pisses me off, not only that this Dr. Agatston, who's a Miami Beach guy, and he's making a fortune. It was number one on the New York Times bestseller list, because we're all desperate, all of us fat people. So as soon as some new diet book gets hyped, right away there's millions and millions of us, we're gonna, buy a book and lose weight. But at any rate, not only does he do that, but there's part in the back of the book where, after all of the recipes, which, let's face it, unless you're a gourmet chef, nobody is going to make these recipes. Like tuna, cucumber, and red pepper salad with lemony dill dressing, okay? Moroccan grilled chicken. It's got like 75 different ingredients. Unless you're like Paul Prudhomme or somebody like that, you're not going to make these. But the thing that really just frosts my ass about you, Dr. Agatston, is this thing in the back of the book where you've got these plugs for all your favorite buddies with their restaurants. Okay, now the average person like in Dubuque, Iowa, doesn't give a flying crap about Macaluso's restaurant at 1747 Alton Road in Miami Beach, or their executive chef whose picture is in here, and his recipe for Macaluso-style grilled veal with broccoli rabe.
Huh?
Whatever the hell that is. Oh, we've talked about that before. Rabe, I don't know what that is. China Grill, Washington Avenue, Miami. These are all of his buddies, and he's got recipes recommended by these top chefs. Well, who cares? 99% of the people who buy this book don't live anywhere near Miami Beach and are never going to go to any of these places, and yet he's got to stick these guys in there to give them here's the Roomy Supper Club on Lincoln Road, Miami Beach, roast chicken with sweet garlic, melted onion, sour. It sounds like crap anyway. Really pisses me off. Don't buy the South Beach diet book, okay? That's my recommendation. If you want to go out and buy the Atkins, at least with Atkins, he's got like, Atkins Made Easy, little paperback thing.
Yeah.
Because everybody and their brother ripped him off. The guy croaked, and then right away they all hopped on his grave. Here's the story about that yearbook. Students at Key Biscayne Elementary will have to hand over their yearbooks today to have a message of hate removed. An 8th grader wrote an anti-Semitic remark in German in the comments section, though misspelled. Translated, it means death to the Jews.
Oi!
About 450 copies of the yearbook already had been distributed by the time a parent noticed the phrase and contacted the school. It's surprising that it would slip by, but in this case it did, said John Schuster of Miami-Dade County Schools. Students who already had their yearbooks were told to rip out page 66, which is where the words appear. School principal Dr. Ann Rasco also sent a letter home to parents. In part it reads, in spite of careful editing to ensure that everything printed in the memory book is proper and in good taste. Some inappropriate material slipped by us. The 8th grader thought to be responsible has been suspended for the rest of the school year, which ends next week. Well, that's not a big deal. Although, let's see, he's an 8th grader, so he's not going to graduate anyway. But it'll, like, put a stain. It'll put a mark, and like the guy said, maybe it was, he says it was a dare, right?
Yeah, that's what they say. They should put a mark on that kid, like with a brand.
Random, okay? Like maybe a pink triangle, something like that.
On his forehead.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT. See, there's one thing to be a smart ass, but you take it to another level, and that's the problem with too many of these kids. Everybody wants to outsmart ass the other one, you know?
If you're going to be a smart ass, put a dirty phrase in there, you know?
Yeah, put something really filthy in German, okay? Kids will love that. Then all the goody two-shoes will get all better. Oh my God, look at the kind of filth, you know, that would be great. That's the kind of controversy we can all sink our teeth into, so to speak.
We can all have a good yuck.
Yeah. All-time favorite fat person, dead or alive, John Candy, 135. Jackie Gleason, 77. Chris Farley, 65. John Belushi, 40. The fat Neil Rogers, 37. Dom DeLuise, only 16. Boy, there's a big drop-off there, man. Kelly Craig, 15. Dom DeLuise just tiptoed right around Kelly. Jerry Garcia's got a dozen. Curly of the Three Stooges has got 12. And after that, single digits all the way around. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. You know what else today is the anniversary of? 10th anniversary of? Well, not the 10th anniversary. How many years? 30?
Of what?
About 30, man.
Tiananmen Square.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, today's the day.
When they rose up and we ran to their support and helped them overthrow their oppressors.
We're not into nation building.
Oh,
Don't you understand that?
I'm sorry. So we let the
WQAM, hello. No, that was a raspberry.
Yes,
Mark it
was.
down. WQAM, hello. Not there. QAM, hola, let's go for 3. Hello.
John Brown?
Okay, we did it. All right.
Oh.
Let's hear it. My psychic power's coming through once again, loud and clear. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir?
Neil?
Yes.
For your list, you should be ashamed. I can't believe you left him off. How about Michael Moore?
Michael Moore is sensational. You're right. We were embarrassed and humiliated, and we apologize profusely.
Is this movie ever going to come out, Neil?
June 25th.
It is coming out June 25th. All right, can't wait.
You can go to
Have a good
Michael Moore.
weekend.
You too. You can go to michaelmoore.com. Although last time I checked it, it was still like overloaded, and they took the trailer for the movie off of there because there was just so many hits on it. It was just getting blown out.
I never did get it to work, did you?
No. Well, that's because there was just too much traffic on there and just too much demand. But the movie, we had that story on yesterday, will be in the theaters June 25th.
Oh!
Everybody will see Fahrenheit 9/11.
Oh!
We'll see the truth really start seeping out. All these books coming out this summer. I think the, what's his name? Larry Flint book is going to come out. Seymour Hersh, his book is coming out as well. In the fall before the election, just in time. All of these things. As you watch just everything just crumbling around, this bunch of neo-fascist bastards is exactly what they are. In fact, maybe one of them wrote that stuff in the yearbook.
Live and local.
Probably
This is
Cheney
Sports
done it.
Radio 560. QAM.
What's the problem, officer?
Deploy from the vehicle.
If you're caught driving without a seatbelt, you will be removed from your car and shot. The police now have the authority to enforce seatbelt safety under the new Patriot Act 2. The new law is in effect now, so click it or be shot. Officers don't like doing this. They are only following orders. It's for your own protection in the never-ending fight against terrorism. Terrorist acts such as mouth noise, burping, and farting could be annoying to others. So under Patriot Act 2, eating will no longer be permitted in restaurants. Anyone eating outside the designated eating area will also be shot. It's the law. The law. We like saying that. The law. The law. The law. The law. The law. It's the law.
And just to show you that practice makes perfect, as in a better edit.
It's a special day here at Disney World when the screening gays meet the rest of the girls in the closet no more. That's what gay day is for. It's a gay day after all. Oh! It's a day of fun when we wear red shirts and when we all come you can hear the squirts. We can tickle and tease with our manicured goatees. It's a gay day after all. We'll be holding hands in Adventureland.
Now, how'd you like that edit?
Beautiful.
Well, it was the wrong
Special
one.
day here at Disney World when the screening gays meet the rest of the girls in the closet no more. That's what gay day is for. It's a gay day after all. It's a day of fun when we wear red shirts and when we all rap. You can hear the squirts. We can tickle and tease with our manicured goatees. It's a gay day after all.
Now, see, wasn't that a big improvement?
Wonderful. Much better.
Well, see, I can't delete the old ones in here for obvious reasons because they weren't put in from on this end, if I can say that, so.
Yeah.
Have to be real careful on that. Like that one day I started playing that Bill Cigar thing. I realized, oh, wait, this ain't the right one. And I wouldn't have been able to recoup from that one just like this. At any rate, here Kathy says, Fat Elizabeth Taylor for our poll. Okay, Kathy, you got it. Now, did you know there's a new Batman movie coming out?
I have been hearing rumors.
Well, rumors about what? Bruce and Robin?
No, those are the old rumors.
He was his ward, not his pedophile.
Anyway, it says, think you know Batman? Think again. The highly anticipated action flick Batman Begins tells the Caped Crusader's origins in a brand new way that casts him as a dark and conflicted good guy who nearly goes bad, and the Inquirer has an exclusive sneak peek.
Mm-hmm.
Take a peek. The thriller starring Christian Bale, who looks a lot like, you know who he looks like?
Who does he look like?
He looks like an identical twin, at least in this one picture. It's kind of hard to tell. Identical twin of our old friend Brian Andrews. From Channel 7 out of Channel 4, or not, wherever he is. Is that amazing or what?
Okay.
And of course, when you look at Brian Andrews, you really think of Batman saying,
Hey, boy, what's that in your mouth?
Not really.
I think a Catwoman.
Anyway, Christian Bale will center on the guilt-ridden young Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Batman, as he struggles to cope with his parents' murders and is tempted by the dark side under the tutelage of master criminal Ra's al Ghul. This movie will explain how young Bruce Wayne transformed from a spoiled rich kid into a crime-fighting legend, and like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, is almost seduced by the forces of evil, a source tells the Inquirer. The film, due out in the summer of 2005, I'll have to wait a year, will explain Batman's fascination with bats and the origin of the Batcave. It'll also explore the pivotal event of Bruce's life, the night his father Thomas and mother Martha are gunned down by a mugger right in front of 8-year-old Bruce. As an adult, Bruce plans to murder his parents' killer, but ultimately realizes that the only way to avenge his parents is a force for good who must stop Ra's al Ghul from destroying Gotham City. Batman Begins is a roller coaster ride from start to end, says the source. It's the piece of the Batman puzzle that's been missing. Well, I probably could have lived without it, but it's there whether you want it or not.
I could have lived without all the other ones. Let's hope this one doesn't suck.
Yeah, the movies, the TV show we love.
Right.
Nobody don't like the Batman the
As it
TV
was.
show, if you can find it on one of your retro channels.
Yeah, it's always on it, periodically.
Yeah. But Batman the movies have all sucked big time, each and every one of them. I don't care what anybody says. They've all been really, in fact, there was one where there wasn't even any Robin, wasn't there?
No, I'd like to argue with you, but you're right, so I won't.
What do you mean by that?
They all sucked.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying there was one where there was not even a Robin.
Well, like the first couple, I think, had no Robin.
Oh, well, what is that? What's Batman without Burt Ward? Anyway, lead detective reveals police evidence O.J. jury never heard. Yeah, the calls are getting pretty weak at this point. Once we start getting those people in here, you know that they're out of material. So now I've got about how many stories?
About 30, man.
With this O.J. business. Because there's one thing about South Florida, man. We can't express enough hate and disgust and contempt for O.J. to satisfy some of us. At least I feel that way. Just nauseated and revolted. Not even so much by him, but by the sycophants. In fact, this punk that called before with that story, how come there was a guy asking for his autograph?
Always.
If Chuck Manson would have walked in there, would you, oh, Charlie, can I have your autograph?
Yeah, actually.
And how about Ted Bundy? Could we gotten him to sign somebody's dress before they put him in the big house?
Everyone
before they fried
that
his
you
ass?
mentioned has gotten love letters while they were in prison.
Oh, I know that. Every one of these slime bags.
Fathered 4 children while in prison.
And of course, don't forget the Menendez brothers.
Right.
One of them was married, I think, twice while in prison, I believe. But anyway.
Yeah, he has a wig, you know.
No, that's Eric. At any rate, if I can get to this eventually. Although, keep going because it'll kill a good time. Retired LAPD lead homicide detective Tom Lang has stepped forward to reveal the Inquirer never before disclosed details of the O.J. Simpson case, including the shocking truth about the glove that didn't fit and how the prosecution blew the case. Lang, 59, joined the department in 1967 and spent 22 years as a homicide detective, or is that homicide? He was notified at his home about the Simpson murders and arrived at the murder scene about 4:30 a.m. During O.J.'s infamous slow speed chase, and that was another thing that just nauseated me, those morons. Go, O.J., you go, O.J. Those people needed to be shot. What the hell is wrong with people anyway? Man, it is this hero worship, this whole, not just with jocks, but movie stars, you name it. It's a sickness the likes of which you just can't even describe. What's that all about?
Lifeless people, low self-esteem.
I have no life.
Oh.
No sense of self-worth.
During the slow speed chase, it was Lang who first contacted Simpson by cell phone, assumed the role of crisis negotiator, and talked him into surrendering to police. The veteran detective, who retired in 1996, now runs his own private investigative firm and conducts fraud investigations for an insurance company. Detective Lang offers several startling revelations about the O.J. case, exclusively for the Inquirer. Question. What happened to the murder weapon, bloody clothes, and shoes? Answer. 7 months after the murders, a witness came forward and said that he had seen O.J. at the airport on the night of the murder. He was taking a late flight to Chicago. The witness said that he saw O.J. take his arm out of a trash receptacle, put his hand in a flight bag, and again put his arm into the receptacle. That's where he dumped the bloody evidence that would have convicted him. We learned that from garbage from those receptacles at the airport would have been, let me say it again. We learned that the garbage from the receptacles at the airport would have been sent to one of 2 community dumps. After almost 8 months, it would have been impossible to search through all that garbage. The jurors never got to hear that information. Question, why didn't the glove fit? Answer, the glove did fit. My partner Phil Van Adder's hands were bigger than O.J.'s and he could get the glove on. There had been some shrinkage from all the blood on the test, but with a bit of work he could have gotten it on. Additionally, he had on latex gloves to protect the evidence, and that makes it more difficult to put a pair of gloves over them. Remember, this guy's an actor, not a good one, but an actor just the same. It should have been done in chambers. It would have fit him. Question. Yeah, do you remember the way he was tugging like, oh, who are you kidding?
He had his fingers all spread out, like, you know.
Yeah. Question, why didn't prosecutors enter into evidence O.J.'s attempt to flee in the white Ford Bronco? Answer, I believe they felt they had sufficient case with the DNA only, eh? So why take a chance in putting on evidence that was put together and obtained by the police because the police were on trial? The prosecutors realized that from the Rodney King case. The police were on trial, so why get in bed with the police? They were wrong. In a murder case, you can never have too much evidence. Question, why wasn't O.J. arrested or released a minimum held upon his return from Chicago? Answer, there was insufficient evidence to arrest him when we questioned him when he returned from Chicago. The blood evidence hadn't come back yet. In fact, the blood evidence was still being collected. We interviewed him and saw the cut on his finger. It's on his left hand. We knew the blood tailing away from the crime scene was on the left side of the foot impressions. That was all consistent, but not good enough for probable cause. Did you even know that the blood was on his left? You see that?
No.
Question. Why did prosecutor Marcia Clark put Detective Mark Furman, who was known to be a loose cannon, on the stand? Answer. She felt compelled to do that. If she didn't, it would have looked as if we were trying to hide him. He was the one who found the glove, which caused the search warrant of O.J.'s Rockingham property. Initially, none of us knew of the existence of the tape where Furman repeatedly used the N-word. When defense attorney F. Lee Bailey asked Furman if he'd used the N-word in the last number of years, everybody in the world knew he was being set up. If he had said that he used the word and regretted it as anyone would, that would have been the end of it. Question. Why did former LAPD detective Mark Furman deny saying the N-word, which was proved only that he was a liar, and persuaded the jurors not to believe anything he said? Answer, because he's arrogant. He was the only one in the world who didn't know he was being set up by the defense. He was inexperienced in high-profile cases, but it was his arrogance that did him in. Question. Did Marcia Clark and co-prosecutor Chris Darden's flirting and joking with one another affect the jurors and ultimately the case? Answer, there was never anything to show that, laughing. Nothing like that happened between them. Laughing. Question, why did D.A. Gil Garcetti move the case from Santa Monica, where it should have been tried, to the downtown courthouse? Answer, my personal belief is that it was for political considerations. We believe that certain persons in the DA's office met with the O.J. defense team, and they were concerned that if there were a conviction, there might be riots in the street. Considering that there had been riots after the Rodney King case, there was real concern. Question, why did Judge Ito sequester the jury for almost a year? Answer, who knows why he did that, but he pandered to the jurors too much. Whatever they asked for, he gave them. He didn't hold them to a standard. They didn't follow his instructions. They were told to deliberate, and 2.5 hours later they come back with a verdict. Nonsense. They didn't follow the evidence, and the jurors' relatives who visited them every weekend filled them in on what was in the media. Lovely. Justice is served, baby. Oh! Not in Zion America. Bronco driving buddy AC speaks with O.J. daily. Do you know that?
No, I did not.
Decade after O.J. Simpson's infamous flight from justice in that white Ford Bronco with best friend A.C. Cowlings behind the wheel, the two buddies still get together and A.C. still does the driving. Even though O.J. lives in Miami and A.C.'s in Malibu, California, they had a reunion March 11th at the Lux Summit Hotel when O.J. was in L.A. to work on that reality TV pilot show called You've Been Juiced. O.J. was waiting at the lobby bar when his old pal A.C. walked in, said an eyewitness. They chatted. Then they went off to dinner, and A.C. drove just like the old times. And the people running in the streets going, "You go, O.J., you go." On June 17, 1994, more than 95 Americans were glued to their TVs watching the white Bronco as O.J. and A.C. led an army of police on a slow-speed chase. O.J. was safely taken into police custody at his Brentwood mansion. A.C. was arrested on suspicion of aiding a fugitive. But in the years since then, A.C. has never publicly talked about what happened during that tense standoff, despite rumors that O.J. confessed to him in the car. And that unwavering loyalty is why the childhood buddies are still best friends. They're as close now as ever, even though they're on opposite coasts, said an insider. A.C. is a busy executive with billionaire B. Wayne Hughes Company, Public Storage, but he and O.J. talk on the phone 2-3 times every day. These guys are like brothers. So at this point, how many people has he confessed to?
About 30, man. Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Colored people.
Yes.
He likes to frame the colored people.
Oh, nice separation on that.
This is great. You like that?
Yeah, I guess this is the left channel we're enjoying. we can sing the other parts if you want. All right. See, when you have a cheap board.
This is the greatest. That was sensational. Man, well, I guess I'll have to find the disc, but I'm not going to bother. At any rate, before we do that, former senators offer harsh assessments of nation's security. Here's one of our bedtime stories that needs to be read. Okay?
Okay.
The next terrorist attack is coming, and the United States is far from prepared. Two former senators who are experts in Homeland Security movement said yesterday. Myself, my hair is on fire, said former Senator Gary Hart, borrowing a phrase recently popularized by former White House counterterrorism chief Richard Clarke. I, for one, think it's only a matter of time before an attack happens again in a devastating way, former Senator Warren Rudman said. The two spoke at a McGraw-Hill Homeland Security conference. Hart, a Colorado Democrat, and Rudman, a Republican from New Hampshire, oversaw a commission that warned of imminent terrorist attacks prior to 9/11/2001. He said they tried unsuccessfully early in the administration to meet with President Bush and Vice President Cheney. They did meet with National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, Secretary of State Colin Powell, and Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, but the ex-senator said that beyond being respectful and taking notes, little happened. Hart urged the public and private sector attendees not to fall into the Washington trap of gauging the nation's preparation by the amount of money being spent. Hart also criticized the administration over a report that shared database between the FBI and the Customs Service would not be operational until 2008. That is unacceptable. He said we can't wait. Both senators said the federal government should act at home more like it's engaged in war. Hart said tax cuts should be curtailed and the private sector, which controls most of the nation's critical infrastructure, should be commanded to better secure assets under wartime conditions. What bothers me is the rhetoric of the administration doesn't match the performance, he said. Some of the Hart-Rudman report's recommendations included investing more in domestic security and in math and science education, which Hart said hasn't been done. They also urged the reorganization of national security, Congress, and finding ways to attract the best people to government. The recommendation to create a domestic security department initially was opposed by Bush. Rudman criticized policymakers for being driven by events rather than foresight and said Congress has ceded too much power to the White House. He said the government's poured money into air travel security because the attack used that means, but if the attack had come at a seaport, the spending would have been there instead. He said the top priority should be to provide first responders basic equipment and to allocate funding to localities based on threats, not population. Rudman says the president's creation of the Terrorist Threat Integration Center helped unite the disparate intelligence bodies. He said he favors basic standards for chemical plants, nuclear facilities, and cybersecurity. Both senators said they back establishment of the House and Senate committees with permanent oversight of the new department and said that other chairmen would have to relinquish jurisdiction. Rudman warned the policymakers, I think there will be hell to pay in this country politically if something happens. And they're saying something's going to happen. How do you like that? Their hair is on fire. Get the extinguisher because they're flaming. You know what I'm saying?
Flaming.
Right. Don't forget, join the Mad Dog 2 to 4 this afternoon. I'll be doing the show live from the Hooters in Doral. Stop by to win some really cheap-ass prizes. And you can enjoy Heineken beer specials during the show. And then join the QM Cuties 8 to 10 tonight at the Village Grill and Pump located off Commercial and A1A. Stop by for prizes and specials on Beck's Beers and Pump to your heart's content. Now, is that picture, did we actually put that on there?
Eric
on our
said
website?
we did, but I didn't check. It's supposed
There's
to be
a cartoon. There it is. Now, is it possible that in one of his acting movie roles that was it?
Not one I've seen.
I mean, what is that picture? And it's still there. I checked a little while ago on the New York Post, the website, to see if they changed it, if it was an error. Yeah. That is bizarre. We haven't had anybody guess at it or make a suggestion. I guess it's just a mistake. A newspaper making a mistake?
Oh, my God. Could be him. Look at the eyes and the mouth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks a lot like him, uh-huh. Just keep staring at it. WQAM, hello.
Look, it's 3D now.
QAM. Not there. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. They're stupefied. We haven't had one person even make a guess as to what that is. So maybe it's just a mistake. Not a mistake. Newspapers don't make no mistakes. Like the Herald, for example. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, that picture is one of the stunts he does to juice the people. That's the costume he's wearing when he does it. They're asking.
It's one of the stunts that he does.
For his new show?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, we got the answer, you think?
I think he's right.
Well, there you go. But how the hell would we know that?
We got juiced. Yeah, doesn't the article
I think we've all been juiced. All right.
Oh, man, freshly squeezed.
Oh, I feel like it's been squeezed.
Gingerly.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, good morning, sir. I got a guy for you, both for
okay.
How about Captain Kangaroo?
Bob Keeshan.
Yeah.
He's dead. Okay, thank you. Bob Keeshan, we want to put Captain Kangaroo? Put it on there, whatever you like.
Fat.
He wasn't? He was plump.
He was plump.
Pudgy.
I mean,
he wasn't, you're right, he wasn't one of these big fat people here. You know, these people are starting to lose the perspective on this. We're talking about big, gigantic, fat people. Not just people with a little bit of a paunch. Everybody in America's got a paunch. Even kids now got a paunch. Everybody's got one of those. Even kangaroos got one.
Yeah, I've got a paunch and Judy.
Good. But, this idea that people are a little bit fat. We're talking about big, gigantic, humongous people that you liked.
Oblong. Ovoid.
Right. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Hey,
Great.
not to get you off the subject, but you were talking about these chefs and all that. And
yeah.
Do you remember Jeff Smith, the Frugal Gourmet? Whatever happened to him?
The Fruity Gourmet?
Yeah. Remember him? Surreal, man.
Now that you mention it, I wonder if that bit is one that we can still play. Probably not.
I think it is.
Is it? What is that called?
I don't know.
He went to jail.
To where?
He's a child molester. He went to jail.
What's his real name?
What is his real name? Jeff Smith, I thought it was.
The Fruity Gourmet was a child molester. That is
Fruity
correct.
Gourmet. That's hilarious. Oh my
well,
God!
That's the truth. Why do you think he?
Hey, in other words, he got his hand in the cookie jar, wasn't he?
There you go. He had his hand more than that, man. Yeah.
But it goes to show you, man. You
never know.
Never know. Thank you, Neil. Have a nice
Okay, good luck to you.
What's it called? Frugal Gourmet.
The Frugal Gourmet. No. And I love that show, too. Let's see.
In video stores everywhere. From the people who brought you the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Wine, it's the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Boys. Yes, the Frugal Gourmet Cooks Italian.
Hey, little man, I've got some lovely sausage for you.
The Frugal Gourmet Cooks Chinese.
Today I'm going to make some young guy.
And of course, the Frugal Gourmet Cooks Greek.
Ooh.
Yes, it's your warm and fuzzy old friend, the Frugal Gourmet, like you've never seen him before. He may be frugal with his money, but not with his sauce. The Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Boys, only $19.95 at a video store near you. And don't forget, coming next fall, it's the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Malt Liquor.
Michael Jackson beat him to that one, I think. That Jesus Juice. Yeah, the Fruity Gourmet. I love that show. Did you ever watch it?
No.
No, because you don't like cooking shows.
Correct.
You're just like that stupid-ass Iron Chef thing there.
Because that's the comedy show.
I see. No, but Frugal Gourmet you wouldn't have appreciated as much because he had like a lot of scenes from Italy. That's why I love that show.
Yeah.
Mostly Italian food, which I'm crazy about, but a lot of it filmed on location in Italy. One can only imagine who he was doing. I mean, what he was doing there.
Isn't the idea of a cooking show to actually learn how to cook something and then actually doing it yourself?
Not necessarily.
No.
And not only that, but you're not a fat person. See, us fat people, we're so obsessed with food that...
I see. No,
you're
never
wrong.
thought of it.
You're absolutely wrong, okay? You're laughing, but it's the truth. That just sitting there watching it, kind of like, you know, the salivation process starts and you're like, your mouth is watering and like, yeah.
You take your pants off to watch those shows?
No, only the Fruity Gourmet does that. All depending on, now see, I can't make those sounds anymore. All depending on whether you're eating while you're watching the show, whether you're cooking up a storm. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Won't see the Fruity Gourmet no more, not for a long time. He's doing some time. WQAM, hello.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah.
I heard Neil talking the other day about a restaurant in Rome, and my wife's a flight attendant. She's headed to Rome tomorrow. I was wondering if you ever remember the name of that restaurant.
It's right off the corner. It's next to the Star Metropole Hotel.
One more time?
The name of the hotel it's next to, it's just a half a block away from, is the Star Metropole Hotel. You go downstairs, it's a little trattoria. I think it's called Trattoria Amatriciana. It is Amatriciana. Get with that Italiano. George will give you some Italian lessons. I hope you have a good time there. It's got like 2 or 3 different names. You know, I don't know why that is. I've been going here for years and I've never been able to figure out what the real name of the joint is. It's one of those typical Italian family-run trattorias. Just about all of them are. Man, is that a great... I'll tell you, the spaghetti pomodoro, which is very simple, very plain. There's nothing fancy about it. No spaghetti with meatballs in Italy, by the way. They'll kick your ass out. Say stupid Americans. But boy, spaghetti pomodoro. Maybe El Presidente is going to have that while he's there. What do you think?
No.
Probably not. They don't want him there. They're having massive protests in Rome, I should point out.
Yeah, they are.
But anyway, and I'll say it again, the tomato sauce is so rich there because the soil in Italy is so old and the produce is so fabulous and it's not sprayed with artificial coloring and all that other crap they put in. And then they take and they put the Parmesan cheese in the spaghetti after it's cooked, and then they top it off with a little bit of sauce. They don't drown it in sauce. Then they toss it like all together. And it's just, and the cheese like melts in the middle of it and then a little more cheese on top, Reggiano Parmigiano, and oh my God, it's just, that's way beyond sex, the meal in that place. It's, fabuloso. 5-6, and I see right away you're starting, that's him, you're just a little bit on edge.
We're Sports Radio
That's
560 QAM.
He likes to set up colored people. He likes to frame the colored people. Officers and firemen driving through Brentwood.
This just ain't meant to be, you know what?
His evidence bag waits at the Bronco, opens the window to leave a few drops on the floor. A smudge on the door. Officer Mark Herman, where did that blood come from? Officer Mark Herman, he dropped the bloody glove.
Oh my God.
Susan and Cato, back from a burger and fries at a restaurant near. Rose and Maria, OJ is napping, dropping his socks near the bed, but there's somebody there. Planting some hair, he likes to set up colored people come from. He likes to set up colored people.
Oh, well, at least we came close to playing it there. That was better than the first time, right?
Well,
I actually I listened to it off the disc in queue just to make sure it would play, and it was fine. And then as soon as I put it on the air, it started doing a little hip-hop. Well, it's in these days, you know. 1989 was Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Just for those who care, 15 years ago. 15th anniversary of that. And the 10th anniversary of O.J. coming up on Monday with a whole bunch of interviews, and this Katie Couric is a scoop in this one, and Greta Van Susteren scooping that one, and it's all the big scoop. As if anybody really should care, other than let us know when he croaks, okay? That's what we want to hear about O.J. again. Here's a fax that says, is the Hebrew Hammer on the list? Not yet, but get him on there right away. Okay? Hank Goldberg, get him on there. We like Hank a lot, but boy, he's gigantic. He's huge. Still don't know who Paul Prudhomme is?
Does he have white hair?
No.
Okay.
Family of O.J.'s forgotten victim is still feeling the pain. Ron Goldman is the forgotten victim in the O.J. case. The handsome 25-year-old was brutally stabbed to death simply because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not a good idea being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And in the 10 years since the tragedy, remarkably different fates have befallen his loved ones, the inquirers learned. Ron had met Nicole Brown at a Brentwood gym and became a friend. He worked as a waiter at the trendy Mezzaluna, the Italian restaurant in Brentwood, where they don't have that great spaghetti pomodoro, but nevertheless, where Nicole dined with family members the last night of her life. Her mother, Judith Brown, phoned the restaurant later that night to say she had left her glasses. Ron told, see that she's the one, she was the chigger in the woodpile, that Judith Brown, right?
Right.
If she wouldn't have left her glasses there, he wouldn't have been going to the house. He'd still be alive today. Bitch. Ron told Nicole he would drop off her mom's glasses at her townhouse on his way to meet friends. He kept his word and paid for it with his life, slaughtered in the darkness outside Nicole's home. His father, Fred Goldman, who was an advertising executive, lived in a middle-class L.A. suburb. Today he says of his shattered family, we've been doing fine except for a reminder every day that Ron's gone, and in the happy times when they come along, we're missing Ron. When my daughter recently gave birth to her son, she didn't have her brother there. Those are the moments that really strike home and make it painful. The Inquirer learned that Ron's sister, Kim, 32, married her high school sweetheart, Mike Hahn. She gave birth to a boy last September, naming him Samuel Ronald in honor of her slain brother, Samuel Ronald. In an exclusive interview on the eve of the 10-year anniversary, Kim told the Inquirer that she and her dad have kept after O.J., who was ordered to pay the victim's family's $33.5 million in that 1997 civil trial. She charges that the disgraced football star has many under-the-table money-making schemes and successfully evades payments to the Goldmans, which we have a story on that. O.J.'s got plenty of dough hidden away, but victims get none. Coming up. But when we get wind of something he's planning, we call our lawyers and they pursue it, Kim told the Inquirer. She's glad to report that her 64-year-old father, Fred, is doing well. They probably should have gotten the money that would have paid for that plane ticket that Greg Reed paid to fly him into our golf tournament 5-6 years ago when we didn't want any part of his ass. That was, seriously, if I had to write my memoirs right now, that was the lowest point in the history of my radio life. Greg Reed, Screwan, and a bunch of losers plotting behind our back, here for charity no less, at a golf tournament to fly his ass in there. And then to have Sam the Sham calling us on the air. Oh, we got O.J. here. You want to put him on the air? No. Remember that?
I remember that you said that you wouldn't talk about it because we were hearing rumors that O.J. was going to be there, and then you said that you wouldn't promote it if he was going to be there, so everybody told you that he was not going to be there, and it was a lie.
I said I wouldn't have anything to do with it if he was going to be there. I made that very clear, adamant,
So
positive.
They said no, he won't be there, and it was a lie.
Sounds like a lawsuit to me, Duff. Anyway. Getting back to this story, Kim says she's glad to report that her 64-year-old father, Fred, is doing well. He has a company he's working with doing lobbying and making speaking engagements. He's in good health. Seemingly overlooked and forgotten is Ron's mother, Sharon Rufo. She and Fred Goldman split up when the kids were small. Sharon's attorney, Catherine Davis, told the Inquirer, even now she's so emotionally fragile she can't talk to anyone about it. She doesn't work. She's not received a penny from Simpson since he killed her son. Sharon made headlines in February when O.J. showed up in her hometown, St. Louis, to peddle autographs and memorabilia. The bereaved mother and her lawyer tried to tackle some of the Wiley running back's proceeds, but failed. Sharon will never give up, Davis told the Inquirer. We'll hunt him down wherever he tries to make a dime. Now, this story, which just makes you want to scream, makes you want to pee blood. Just ask Josh Becker, they'll tell you what that's like. O.J. has plenty of dough hidden away, but the victims get none. O.J. Simpson still owes $33.5 million that was awarded to Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman's families in that civil judgment, but for 7 years, he's avoided paying them a cent by cleverly hiding his money, says the Inquirer. The ex-football star's only visible source of income is the roughly $300,000 a year he gets, poor baby, from the National Football League's pension fund, which is, as a pension is exempt under law. But the Inquirers learned that Simpson has also been raking in money through the sale of memorabilia and keeps his fortune in offshore bank accounts. OJ's got plenty of money and hiding to keep secret banking accounts in the Bahamas. He goes there frequently, an inside source said. I'm getting choked up about it. I'm gagging on it. And I don't think OJ doesn't have a good time when he's down there. It's always a party. He celebrates the fact that he keeps the civil awards from Ron and Nicole's families. It's sick. In other words, this murdering son of a bitch, and for him life is a
party. Yeah.
The blockbuster disclosure that O.J. is pocketing thousands from the sale of personal sports memorabilia comes in an exclusive Inquirer interview with collector Al Beardsley, who says money for O.J.'s sports memorabilia is handled through O.J.'s pal, sports agent Mike Gilbert. Gilbert? In the summer of 2002, I met Gilbert at the Holiday Inn in Burbank, where he offered to sell me some game balls that he had with him, as well as photos O.J. had taken with J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover? Some artwork done by Nicole. Boy, I bet you Junior Seau would be pissed about that. Ask Josh Beckett. Photos O.J. had taken with J. Edgar Hoover, some artwork done by Nicole, gifts presented to O.J. by Lynn Swan, and a few game-worn jerseys. These were all high-value items. Some of the balls have been signed by football players who are now deceased, like Walter Payton. That's something when you have football players signing your balls? On another occasion, Mike wanted $25,000 for the suit O.J. wore when he was found not guilty, said Beardsley. He also had a ring specially handmade for O.J., which he wore in jail. Ain't that lovely?
Ah.
Mike handles the money and O.J. keeps his own hands clean. O.J. doesn't turn over any bucks to the Brown and Goldman families. After the civil trial, auctions of some of Simpson's assets did yield a small amount of money, but beyond that, the amount the Goldmans and Browns have received is not a penny. Zippity-doo-dah, 0, 0, and 0, Ron Goldman's father Fred told a reporter. I don't know why we should be honestly surprised, he said. You can't lose track of who we're dealing with. He's first and foremost a murderer. He's a wife-beater. He's a dishonest person. He's a sociopath. So why would we ever expect him to do anything honorable, he asked. And that's a pretty good question. And the answer is we would not. What a slime bucket, man. What a piece of turd. We hope you die, O.J., soon. Oh! In fact, on the anniversary of your murders on Monday, how about blowing your brains out? Huh? That'll get you some good publicity, right? We promise to talk about it for days on end if you'll just do that for us.
We'll
Please.
pay to see it. Under the table.
Right. Man. So Tiananmen Square was 1989. When are we going to liberate those poor oppressed Chinese people?
Oh, didn't we? Didn't we go to their rescue and support them?
No, we just decided to start doing business with them because they
trade
make a lot of stuff real
didn't
cheap.
we embargo them because they're a communist country and we don't do business with
567-0560, that's only yours. Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. And that's because your country don't have una bomba grande. That's part of the problem.
See.
WQAM, hello.
Yes, it's 560?
It's 560 WQAM, yes.
All right. I was just calling for the Neil Rogers show.
You're speaking to him.
All right, Neil.
Yes, sir? What do you got?
Well, how about Dave Game?
Did we put him on there? I guess we left Dave Game off of there. He was on a poll yesterday, and he's on there right now thanks to you. Thank you, sir. Did you know he's still at Channel 4?
No.
Yeah, he's in charge of their website.
Oh, no wonder. You used to fill the screen so nicely before.
Exactly. Well, there you go. At least he's still alive and he's still got a job. Thanks, Pally.
All right, later.
See ya. Dave Game, huh? People like Dave Game. I remember what he looked like, too. He was huge and fat and real ugly.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of us can relate to that. Your favorite all-time fat person, dead or alive. John Candy, 154. Jackie Gleason's moving up, 89. Chris Farley, 72. John Belushi, 52. The top four, they're all fat and they're all dead. Fat Neil Rogers, 46. Maybe there's a message in there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
For me. Since I'm right next on the list. Curly of the Three Stooges, 22. Dom DeLuise, 17. Jerry Garcia, 16. Kelly Craig, 15. John Goodman, 13. Big Wilson, 9. Dusty Rhodes got 9. Buddy Hackett, 8. And 8. And 8. And 8. He's dead. Marlon Brando, 8. Marlon Brando isn't just fat. He's monstrous. He's just bigger than life itself.
He's an island unto himself.
How do you fly on a plane? It's a good thing he's got all the big bucks and he certainly wouldn't fly a commercial airline. How would you fly on a plane next to somebody the size of that?
You have to buy a ticket to your own section.
Have you ever had that experience flying on a plane with somebody who needs the seat belt
I have
extender?
The ultimate experience.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 9 flying to L.A., I had a giant fat guy that didn't fit in his seat.
Yeah.
Sit practically on my lap.
Really?
And they wouldn't move
How
me.
was it?
It was great, wonderful.
Yeah, Duff said he enjoyed it.
People pay for 2
567
seats now, don't they?
Huh?
Yeah, they make you.
Yeah, they make you.
They make you, some of the airlines, not all of them, but some of the airlines make you pay for 2 seats, and then they lift the armrest, and then you have one cheek on one seat and another cheek on another seat. If you have like a huge, humongous, gigantic seat.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, this is Delores, and you know, Mama be listening to her Angel Neil Rogers on 1-2 hour.
Bye, bye to American Idol. If I see another special, I'll become suicidal. And no one cares which one of them takes the title. It doesn't matter which of them wins. Take a look at Clay and Ruben. We knew that all hope was lost when Jennifer Hudson was booted off. Who the heck was casting votes? John Stevens thought he had it made, but he was born in the wrong decade. Simon said he couldn't hit the notes. And LaToya London really sung, but she's not as big as William Hung. When he sings, it sounds so wrong. How do you ruin a Ricky Martin song? Real Fantasia or Diana be shown the door. Don't think I can take the show anymore. At least not until season 4. Till then, the music's dead. There's no more singing bye-bye to American Idol. If I see another minute, I may go homicidal. Randy, Paula, Simon, go away for a while. I wish you would all give it a rest. And that includes Ryan Seacrest. Bye-bye to American.
Who the hell is Nathan Fillion? What race is he driving in? You just emailed me this thing about this website.
I did.
You didn't?
Oh, I just emailed you something.
Yeah. It's a website of naked people.
Well, there was a story there that I was trying to email you.
Oh, I bet you didn't email me a story. You emailed me a website that links to all these naked people, which I don't see any of them on here. I see a guy's head.
Well, let me try it again.
It says dudes and organs. Oh, is this like a Wurlitzer, that kind of organ? Huh? Is this a mistake?
Story? No, it was a joke telegram from El Presidente to Shalabi.
Oh, speaking of El Presidente, during that bit, I almost interrupted it because I wanted to, most people aren't sitting by a TV set. But did you have CNN on? Probably not, because you would have been screaming about it by now.
I've been flipping.
They showed a clip where Bush was sitting next to the Pope, across from him, and the Pope is speaking like that, and Bush is sitting there looking like Alfred E. Newman on a bad day with his head kind of cocked off to the side. You know how like a bird cocks its head off to one side?
Or a dog.
But yeah, a dog sometimes, if you make a strange sound, a dog will do that too. Mm-hmm. But most often you see a bird do that, or a dog, yeah. And it was scary. I sat there like frozen in suspended animation. I couldn't believe it. I mean, there are actually those of you out there who believe that this man is a president, that this man has got an intellect larger than your thumbnail. I mean, come on now. There are too many important things going on in the world, and the idea that we've been suckered in and snookered in by the Iranians should come as no surprise with a bunch of dodo birds we got running this country right now. Speaking of birds, dodo birds. There he is.
It shows that our economy is vital.
There you go. Mr. Rogers' secret baby scandal. Boy, I bet you didn't know I could do it, did you?
No.
This is a terrible story in Inquirer, but he's dead now, so I guess we can pick on Fred Rogers. Anguished mom searching for twins, she says TV legend convinced her to put up for adoption. Every day may have been beautiful in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, but the beloved kiddie show host's family was rocked by drug addiction, an affair, and a shocking baby scandal that's been kept secret for nearly 20 years, the Inquirers learned exclusively. In 1984, Fred Rogers' son John fell in love with a woman he met in drug rehab, and she says he got her pregnant with twins. Desperate to preserve Mr. Rogers' wholesome image, she claims members of the family pressured her to abort the babies. But the TV legend and ordained Presbyterian minister convinced the anguished mom instead to put her son David and daughter Eden up for adoption. She hasn't seen the children since giving them up, and it's left a hole in her heart that's never healed. Now, 15 months after Mr. Rogers' death, the children's birth mom, Catherine Anschutz, is speaking out for the first time about her heartbreaking sacrifice to the Inquirer in the hope that our readers can help track down her long-lost twins who are soon to be 19. Please, Inquirer readers, help me find my twins. They need to know their grandfather is Fred Rogers, she said. I've kept quiet for nearly 20 years. And here's a picture. Of course, they were like little kids, the infants. Isn't this something? The Rogers family, all except for Fred, have always tried to act like I don't exist. Neither did the twins their son fathered, said Catherine. But now the children are old enough to decide for themselves, and I think they ought to be proud to know that Fred Rogers was their grandpa. The pervert in that sweater was their grandpa.
Okay, I knew about him.
Yeah. Nothing is, what I tell you, nothing is ever what appears on the surface.
I never liked him. Not for a minute.
No, he was always very fey to me. You know,
right,
I mean,
yeah, I thought he was a faggot. Guess you were wrong. But, you know, that's not why I didn't like him.
Flaming! Very fey. I mean, just, I don't know.
He was just weak.
Very ineffectual.
He was no Skipper Chuck.
Huh?
He was
no Skipper Chuck. He was no, what's your friend on Channel 7 there?
I have Wayne Chandler.
Wayne Chandler.
No, couldn't hold a candle.
No, not even close. John Candy's got 158, your all-time favorite fat person. Jackie Gleason, 90. Chris Farley, 72. And John Belushi, 53. All dead. WQAM, hello.
Can I add one to the poll?
Yes, sir.
Abdul the Butcher. It's another wrestler. It accompanies Dusty Rhodes real well. They fought a lot of matches.
He wasn't fat.
Abdul the Butcher.
George says he wasn't fat.
Very fat. He was the one that stuck people with forks in the forehead.
Okay, I believe you. George don't know his wrestling as much as this guy knows.
I remember Abdul the Butcher like he was sitting right next to me.
Yeah, and he wasn't fat?
All
why would this guy make it up?
Those pro wrestlers had a bit of a
why would this guy make it up? I think you better wrestle with your conscience a minute or two, okay? Oh, Abdul the Butcher.
Haystacks Calhoun was huge.
Yeah.
That's fat.
Well, he wants Abdul the Butcher on there, so stick it on there, Josh. Don't pay any attention to George. He's off his feed now, okay?
No, I'm not.
You feeding it? No. Oh, that's right. Now, where did you eat that food from this morning? You were telling me about a cheeseburger or something like that.
Something Rockets.
Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets, that's it.
What's Johnny Rockets?
They have burgers and fries.
I've heard of Pocket Rocket. Now, see, you're thinking of something dirty. The Pocket Rocket was a hockey player, Henri Richard, for Montreal Canadiens.
No,
I say Pocket Rocket, right away you're thinking of Kathy Willett, something really dirty. Pocket Rocket was a hockey player, number 16.
Right, I heard you
Henri
talk
Richard.
about it.
Younger brother of Maurice the Rocket Richard. Anyway, speaking of rockets, what a nice segue. Al-Qaeda weapons found hidden in U.S.
Oh, my God.
Feds say terrorists, some within 25 miles of the White House, will strike this summer. This is also in the Inquirer. This is one heavy-duty Inquirer issue this week. They're making up for lost time because last 3 or 4 have been very, very lame, if I say so myself. Hidden stockpiles of deadly terrorist weapons that Al-Qaeda planned to use to murder innocent Americans have been found in the U.S. Top government sources tell the Inquirer exclusively. The startling discoveries in upstate New York and New Jersey were the secret reason Attorney General John Ashcroft recently issued the chilling warning that terrorists are operating in the U.S. and getting ready to strike this summer. Sure, if you believe that. See, the Inquirer, of course, one thing about them, very right-wing. You do know that.
Yeah.
Extremely right-wing. And it set off a massive hunt for more weapons in terrorist safe houses, some believed to be located just 25 miles from the White House. Many Americans think that terrorism is somewhere over there in the Middle East and Europe, far away from daily life in the U.S. A member of the Justice Department's Anti-Terrorism Task Force told the Inquirer, this is no longer true. In fact, your hair ought to be on fire. It ought to be burning so bad you're flaming. The intelligence information we're getting and the finding of terrorist weapons here in the U.S. puts the threat of terrorism right at our doorstep, right on your front door. When somebody rings your bell, you better take a close peek. Acting on crucial information supplied by Britain's MI5 and the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, members of the Justice Department Special Anti-Terrorism Task Force uncovered one cache of arms in New York and another in New Jersey that were being readied by the terrorists at a Justice Department source. The weapons discovered by the feds included automatic rifles, bomb-making materials, and rubber boats. Oh, they probably came from Cuba.
I still have mine.
During the top-secret raids conducted by the FBI, Justice Department, and the Bureau of ATF, a special anti-terrorism unit of the New York City Police, the task force also found several maps and papers now being scrutinized at the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. Getting the weapons in the maps was a real coup, said the source. The maps in the paper show the terrorists have occupied safe houses in Virginia within 25 miles of the White House. We've been on to these guys for years. The terrorists are difficult to trap. They stay on the move and frequently change locations. But the difference now is that they're getting bolder. And the more they show their hand, the harder we'll come down on them. Right, we're holding our breath. Come down on them, please. Pretty please. Instead of wasting all your time posturing around over there in Iraq, sacrificing American kids, come back over here and take care of business. Just like Gary Hart and Warren Redmond said, okay, with their old hair on fire. Pretty scary. Especially when I saw him sitting there in that chair. You had to really see it. He had his head turned off to the side like he was trying to, and of course I can understand, it's not easy to understand what this old man is rambling.
Oh, come on now. He speaks 100 languages.
Yeah, and not one of them is decipherable. That's the problem. Speaking of 100 languages, so did Reagan in The Exorcist, you know.
Yeah,
see a little connection there? La plume de ma tante. You know, all of that crap. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was involved in a piano box burial.
Really?
Yeah, burying some really fat guy up in near Tallahassee.
You mean actually really do that? I thought that was a sick joke.
No. This was one of the two fattest twins in history. They were in the Guinness Book of World Records tour, and one of them decided to settle down there and wanted to get married, so he went into the health department where I worked to get a blood test. Mm-hmm. And the guy was enormous. He was like 600 pounds.
Jesus.
So he gets his blood test, and probably about 6 months later, he dies. And so that was a much louder sound than that.
I'm dying over here.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. And so they arranged to get him in a piano crate, which had to be reinforced because they just couldn't lower it into the ground by normal means. They had to get a crane. And since I work for the health department, they also had to get a permit to get this guy buried in a, a vault. Of course, there are no burial vaults that big, so they had to contract out to a septic tank company.
He might be at somebody's front lawn right now up in the Capitol.
So they had to bury him. They had to modify the vault, and of course they called me because they couldn't believe it. So I went over there to look at it, and sure enough, it was a specially prepared septic tank, which was painted silver. And then they lowered the guy in a very nicely polished piano box that had reinforcements on the bottom.
How
true story.
Thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome.
See ya. I wonder if the piano was a spinet.
I don't get it.
You never heard of a spinet piano?
No.
S-P-I-N-E-T? You don't know your pianos, mister.
No, I don't. I had
piano
piano
lessons. And of course,
lessons.
as we found out before, you sure when I mentioned Wurlitzer, you don't know your organs either.
No, I know Wurlitzers.
Well, spin it. 12 minutes after 1 at 5:60. In fact, you can spin it this afternoon over there at the Doral, at the Hooters. Stop by and spin that wheel. Maybe win a crappy prize or two, or not, as the case may be. And definitely with the Mad Dog, enjoy Heineken beer specials during the show, 2 to 4 this afternoon. Hey, if you're trying to lose weight because you're big and fat, like all these people we're making fun of today, including me. See, if you do it to everybody else and you don't make a little fun of yourself, then it's bad. But if you say, hey, I'm a fat slob, and then makes it okay, makes it kosher, see? So I'm a fat slob. And if you're trying to lose weight on one of those low-carb diets, whether it's the Atkins diet or whether it's some of these other ones, which I don't want to mention them, here's the deal. They can be really, really boring. That's why they're so hard to stay on, because as delicious as steak and lobster is, and butter and cheese and stuff like that, no matter how long you want to stay on it, it's just, even if it's just a few days, pretty hard to stay on that. But when you have a variety of things with some really great taste, you can stay on that deal. And that's why we want to introduce you to Delights of West Boca. Now, most of the so-called low-carb products on grocery store shelves won't help you lose an ounce. Selecting foods with the right ingredients as well as the lowest carbs is what it's really all about. And Delights focuses on over 1,000 of the right low-carb food items and products that you can sample before you buy in their store. And they got a staff that knows low-carb dieting inside and out. So if you're on the Atkins, Sugar Busters, God forbid the South Beach, or any low-carb sugar-free diet, head for Delights of West Boca, the #1 low-carb store in the universe, and let them help you reach your important weight loss goals. They're open every day, 7 days a week from 10 till 10. Delights of West Boca. They're on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. You can call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOWCARB, or on the web you'll find them at lowcarb.com. There's only one, but it's one hell of a store. Delights of West Boca. It's your official Atkins retail center.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Are a unit that cares. And I'm saying care. The reason why I say care, because it's so hard to let things go when you care about it. When you care about it. I would say love, and then everyone say that you're a faggot. Well, I'm not.
better keep the door shut. There's no other smell like it. No ifs, ands, or buts. And when he is napping, better leave him alone, or at you he'll be snapping. 'Cause he's dad to the bone. Dad to the bone. Dad to the bone. Dad. Dad. Dad to the bone. And when Father's Day comes, he'll say his present's lame. He'll toss it aside and ask when's the game. We want to tell him we love him, but he would just moan and yell, go bug your mother. 'Cause he's dad to the bone. Dad to the bone. Dad to the bone. Dad. 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 Woo, dad to the bone.
You know, I'm looking again at this first. I got the other one with this telegram, this fake telegram from Bush to Chalabi.
Yeah.
But the naked celebrities thing, what was that all about? Where did that come from?
Well, the story, it's from Uncle Scoopy, which is where I get a lot of the, what do you call it, beaded curtain pictures.
Right.
But they also have news, some funny, some real. A lot of the stories that we have on the website, they also have there, for example, because it's a fun-time site.
But this is one of those things you have to subscribe to. We were talking about this before the show.
Right, yes. Yes, indeed.
If you want all these nude pictures.
Correct.
Boobies and penises and things like that.
There's no expense to find the good stuff for the beaded curtain.
There you go. At any rate, so this is this fake telegram from Bush to Agent Ahmed Chalabi. The address supposedly 368 Green Zone Boulevard, Baghdad, Iraq. It says, Dear Chalawali Bing Bang, this is a telegram I hoped I'd never have to send. Unfortunately, despite all my efforts to prevent it, America's annoyingly free press has reverted to its uncooperative habit of allowing facts to get it off message, and so our special relationship must come to an end. I'll always treasure the nights we held hands and fed each other popcorn at the White House Gene Autry Film Festival while pickles loudly snored on the floor behind us. But despite my personal affection from this point forward, my administration must treat you as a radioactive pariah. That's why I wanted to take a minute to privately thank you for all you've done. Without you and your steady supply or of obvious yet convenient lies about Iraq, I'd never been able to succor America in letting me use the military to settle my personal score with Saddam Hussein. Because after all, 800 dead enlisted grunts is a small price to pay for me getting to show off Saddam's pistol in the Oval Office. I reckon that's about what it would fetch on eBay if allowed you to pay with the bloody, broken corpses of 18-year-olds. I hope the Iranian contacts that my dad and all the other guys from Uncle Ronnie's administration set up for you are working out well. I know those Ayatollahs are getting a little prickly about America these days, so if you could, please remind them about all the good times we had trading arms and conspiring to turn Jimmy Carter into a total one-term see. And contrary to what you have heard, I'm not mad at all about you telling them Iraniacs that we had broken their code. The CIA doesn't have anyone on staff who read Iranianese anyway, so no harm, no foul, my friend. In closing, I'm really sorry about the violent raid of your home. I hope that your gazillions of dollars in monthly $340,000 U.S. Treasury checks that I wrote you while you were hoodwinking us will help alleviate any emotional suffering. Your pal, George W. Bush. P.S. Good luck with your continued evasion of that 22-year-old Jordanian prison sentence for embezzlement. If this Valerie Plame case keeps going the way it is, I just might bring you on as a consultant. That's kind of cute. Not really good, but it's okay. Killed about 2 minutes.
Yeah, something.
It's weak. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Do have some good news today for those people who are to the left of Attila the Hun and don't walk around with one of them slap-on mustache jobs. Recapture Congress ? South Dakota triumph has Democrats thinking the unthinkable.
Oh, my God.
How do you like that? Pelosi pulls the bandwagon for recapturing Congress. Good old Nancy, she's pulling it. A pair of special election wins in strong Republican states combined with President Bush's skidding national popularity has Democratic leaders giddy over the once unthinkable possibility of taking back Congress in November.
All right.
It's all about momentum, San Francisco Representative Nancy Pelosi, the House Democratic leader, said Wednesday. We're on a roll. Let's roll. A buoyant Pelosi said Tuesday's win in South Dakota's special congressional election and the Democrats' House special election win in Kentucky in February showed that her party can win back the House and the Senate in November. People who don't think the Democrats can win the House this year just don't understand, Pelosi said. We'll demonstrate district by district how we intend to win. But Republican leaders argue that Pelosi and other Democrats are whistling past the graveyard, which is where GOP experts expect the Democratic congressional hopes will end up. I'm amazed at how Pelosi can draw national implications from a South Dakota race where the candidate almost blew a 30-point lead, said Carl Forty, spokesman for the Republican National Congressional Committee. I know she has an obligation to her members and donors to manufacture momentum, but the reality is it's not there. Even after Stephanie Herset's victory in South Dakota, Republicans still hold a 228-206 lead over Democrats in the House, which also includes an independent. That means Democrats have to pick up 11 seats to take back control they lost in the 94 elections. The numbers are even tighter in the Senate, where Republicans hold a 51-48 edge with one independent leads Democratic. Yada, yada, yada. And a partridge in a pear tree. Well, at least they're like a little twinkling sign here and there. You know what I'm saying? A little glimmer of, a ray of sunshine.
We'll take it.
We'll take whatever we can. It ain't much. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
I just realized who my favorite dead old fat person is.
Okay.
Okay, and you probably know who it is. It's Gene Hart. Remember him?
Gene Hart, the announcer for the Flyers, you bet. Another taste of Tasty Cakes.
Another taste of Tasty Cakes.
And I think he tasted too many of them, yeah.
Well, yeah, he sure did, and he sure did a lot better than Gildy's going to be doing this year. So, and since you haven't mentioned hockey, I mean, people are missing a great hockey series. Even
they are? What's that? It can't certainly be Calgary and Tampa.
It is.
Oh, come on. That's a great series?
Oh, yeah. Have you watched it?
I've watched all of it, and some of the most ponderous excuse for hockey I've ever seen in my life. Clutching and grabbing and punching in the head and just very... Huh?
But it's so fast. I mean, Calgary is just so fast.
Yeah, Calgary is fast, but there's not a lot of hockey going on, I'll tell you that. It's been pretty disappointing to me.
I've been enjoying it a lot. It's not the teams I would have picked, but, you know, hey... I'm
going to tell you, if this Calgary team wins the Stanley Cup, this will be one of the great injustices in the history of mankind. I mean, you know, you got to go out and win the games, but Tampa Bay is so much a superior team. They can't put the biscuit in the basket.
Yeah, well, it's a shame. It's a shame. I'm afraid they're going to lose the next one. But,
I hope not.
But I hope not, too. I'd like to see Game 7 in Tampa anyway. Anyway, so put Gene Hart on that list, please. So
you got it. Thanks, sweetheart.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Gene Hart, you got it? That's Gene. I don't want you putting like no J like a girl's name on her, Jen. Like on Jean Valjean. Don't be doing that.
Okay.
You're a big Gene Hart fan, aren't you, George?
Who?
5670560, pound 560 on it. In fact, we might put a little Leafs lunch on there right now.
It's on the air in Winnipeg at Global.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a Winnipegger, so...
No, that big fat Bill Waters. We could put him on the list, but nobody down there knows who it is, eh? Bill Waters, former GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now he's just another big fat broadcaster, which there are so many, you know, so many big fat broadcasters. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Oliver Hardy.
Think we got him. Don't we have him?
I thought we did.
El Gordo y el Flaco. Jorge should have known that.
Okay. What did he say?
He said, how you doing?
Now, what did he just say?
He said the fat one and the skinny one.
Oh, the fat one and the skinny one. Okay. He's supposed to be on there anyway. Let's take a look down there to the bottom of the list, okay? I'll tell you the people that don't have any votes yet. Gene Hart, well, he just went on there. And it's not spelled right anyway. It's H-A-R-T. I should have told you that. I mean, I don't know too many people whose name Hart named H-E-R-A-R-T, but then again, Josh has a little bit of a spelling problem. I'm sure that Eric will be. Huh?
Well, since he's so popular and I knew who he was.
Hey, you're supposed to be a sports expert, mister. Just because you're surrounded by a bunch of hockey haters in that sports department there, you're supposed to know these things. He was the great broadcaster, one of the best of the Philadelphia Flyers, and when they won the Stanley Cup, he was doing the game, eating another taste of Tasty Cake. And so many tastes of Tasty Cake that he croaked. Fat as a cow. Now, you just don't know your hockey because you're in South Florida with a bunch of people. All they know, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, football. That's all they know. A little bit of baseball, little teeny tiny bit of basketball, and it's just a football town. And I'm going to tell you right now, let me say it again, what I told you the other day, you're going to be so sorry, anybody who claims to be a Dolphin fan, when this coming season is over. And this crap that, I think that the statement that Wannstedt made, which was much more embarrassing than the one that Junior Seau made, about the greatest defense in history, oh my God.
Yeah,
what kind
comical.
Huh?
It's pretty comical.
I'll tell you, Rush must have given the coach Wilma's phone number. No question about it, he's got to be popping some heavy-duty crap to be popping statements out like that. The greatest Dolphin defense ever. I noticed Bokamper wasn't too happy about that this morning either. All those killer bees probably ready to pounce right on this coach on Wannstedt. He ought to have been run out of town on a rail anyway and take Jew Fiedler with him. If they think that this touchy-feely and Jew Fiedler is their quarterback answer, the fact that Jay Fiedler is still on that team indicates to me it's just like, okay, forfeit, we give, we surrender. I mean, can you really honestly believe that Jay Fiedler is going to be on that team again this year?
He's talking to you, Josh.
There's nothing to believe. He's there.
No, but could you believe it?
No.
No. See, that's my point. Nobody can believe it. That's how desperate they are. That's how untalented they are at the quarterback position. That's how jealous they are of the Patriots and Tom Brady and anybody else that's got a real quarterback, which ain't the Dolphins. How about that kid on the Jets? What the hell's his name?
Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington. There's a quarterback, see? The Dolphins, what do they got? They got a kid called Touchy Feely, which right off the bat tells you he's a loser. And then they got Jew Fiedler, who eats a good, stick of halava, but that's about it. 28 past 1 at 560 WQAM. Summertime in South Florida guarantees three things: heat, humidity, and hurricanes. We're already in hurricane season, as a matter of fact. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you protect your home during hurricane season. Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters has installed shutters on over 3,000 homes in South Florida over the past decade. From panels, accordion, roll-down, or Bahama shutters, Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters make it easy for you to pick out the hurricane protection you need for your home. Call 954-868-4935 for your free home estimate. If you own a two-story home, you know it's a real pain in the ass to have to put a ladder up there to put up those shutters. But Florida New Code now offers you a new steel panel system designed to be installed from the inside on your second-floor windows with no need for ladders. They'll even give you credit for your existing hurricane protection, too, toward any new purchase. So what's not to like? Call Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters today and get ready for the hurricane season, which is already underway. Call 954-868-4935. That's 954-868-4935. Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters, providing South Florida hurricane protection for more than the past decade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind, the true Hollywood celebrity music biography profile story. They were two Danish guys who knew 14 words of English, then put them in a song and scored one of the biggest dance club hits of the 80s. They were Laid Back.
If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse.
This is Roger McCarthy reporting from Denmark.
We sent our Inside the Behind correspondent to Denmark to locate Tim Stahl and John Gilberg, the duo who made White Horse back in 1984.
So far, no luck finding what's their names, but you might be interested to know that prostitution is legal here in Denmark. Oh yeah, baby, touch me in the no-no place.
Later, tracking down a lead from a local Danish disc jockey who knew Tim Stahl, our reporter went to a meeting in a Denmark bar.
No, get out of here. Oh, huh? We're on? I'm here in a marijuana bar where Mary Jane, reefer, wacky, tobacco, totally legal. They bring it to you at your table. Oh, man, look at that lamp. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Damn, I got the munchies.
Well, many music fans have wondered what the song White Horse is about. Tonight, Roger McCarthy attempts to find out.
Well, a lot of people said it was a cocaine reference, which, by the way, is legal here. At least I think it is. Oh, yeah, baby. One more time, that naughty way. Yeah!
Listen, Roger, could we...
Whoa. Dude, chill on the Roger stuff, okay? As far as you know, my name is John Smith. Get it? Hey, I married right out of high school, and I ain't never gonna have a chance to do this stuff again. Yeah! Do it, my little raspberry Danish. Woohoo!
Laid Back. They're from Denmark. And I wish the producers had sent me, the bastards. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business. Tonight on Inside the Behind.
So about that fake letter from Bush to Chalabi, that was pretty weak.
Sorry.
It was awful, is what it was. But hey, it killed a couple of minutes. 30% of U.S. diet found to be junk. How do you like that? Even the late Peter Clayton would be embarrassed to find out that we're eating so much crap. Wouldn't he?
I don't know. Would he?
Graber? How's Woody Graber doing with that book? That seems like a strange thing that Woody Graber, I realize he's a public relations guy, but usually he's with musicians.
Usually, but...
Where does he all of a sudden come up with this author guy? They wrote a pretty interesting book, too, as a matter of fact, which I forget the name of it. Do you have yours there?
No, I took it home. It's in the bathroom.
Oh, I see. That's a good place for it. No, it's pretty good.
Rogue State, something.
Rogue State.
America at War with the World.
By some guy. Well, we'll talk about it Monday. Make Woody happy. It's pretty interesting. I just got too many books piled up here. I got piles. And then we got that David Brock book that you were mentioning the other day that showed up.
Right.
Which I got to go out and buy that. But I just, I don't know. Anyway, wait till you hear this. This is very disturbing and distressing, and this is what they're doing to us. They're killing us. I think there actually really ought to be like a massive lawsuit against Nabisco, and who are all the other big General Mills, General Foods, all of these people, General Eisenhower. Junk foods such as desserts, chips, and soft drinks make up, guess what percent of Americans' daily diet?
50.
About 30, man.
As obesity rates continue to soar, according to a new study published this month in the Journal of Food Chemistry and Analysis. By the way, while I played that last bit, I was actually in there, speaking of urinating, taking care of that business, and Josh Beckett taught me how to, do that and wash my hands at the same time.
I don't want to say.
Sugary foods, soft drinks, and alcoholic beverages account for nearly 25% of all calories consumed every day, despite the popularity of low-carb diets. 5% of total calories eaten daily include salty snacks and fruit-flavored drinks. Let's see, 30, 25, so now we're up to 60% already. Crap. The lead investigator in the study, Gladys Block, a professor of epidemiology and public health nutrition at the University of California, Berkeley, said she'd expected that Americans ate a lot of junk food. However, she was surprised at the magnitude of it. It was mammoth and vivid and huge and massive, as Rick Riley would say, in between going oompa, oompa, oompa. I don't know what I was listening to the other day, but it was something from that he used to play all the time. And every time I think of Rick Riley and the show, his whole concept of his show was oompa, oompa. You know what I mean? Like beer is good for you, oompa.
Right.
If I remember what this bit was, the song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Too much oompa, oompa. Which is probably why they're not on the air anymore, and poor Suds, He deserves a better fate. Yeah, that's it.
That's ours, though.
I know. Mrs. Block and her colleagues hope the study would help understand American dietary patterns in order to reduce the trend of gigantic... It won't change a damn thing. The researchers reviewed the results of a study of 4,760 adults conducted in 1999 and 2000 by the federal government titled the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. I wonder how much they spent for that. Those surveyed were questioned on the foods they had eaten in the last 24 hours. America's largest source of calories were regular soft drinks. See, I don't for the life of me understand how like my mother, for example, she's a fat tub, all right? She's almost 91, but she's a fat tub. She refuses to drink diet soda.
Why?
I don't know. She don't like it. So when I go to her house for lunch, she's got diet soda for me, and she's got a bottle of regular soda with sugar in it. Why do you drink? I mean, if you're going to have something with sugar in it, have something that at least is, you know what I mean? Like candy or something, a nosh, something good, Ma. Not soda. Regular soft drinks with sugar make up 7.1% of their daily caloric intake. That's a disgrace. Now, how can I be so fat I don't drink any of that? Once in a great while, you go into a restaurant, order a Diet Coke, and they'll make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like poison.
And I haven't had a regular soda in years. I mean, I have to be out of my mind. When I can make room for Nestle's Turtle ice cream or something really good, why in the world would I be drinking Coke with sugar in it? I have to be a moron. And man, you drink that and it's like, oh, that's sickening. You want to barf. It's disgusting.
It's like
those surveyed consume sweets and desserts more than any other type of food. This is just not fat people. These are 5,000 average American slobs. They consume sweets and desserts more than any other type of food. My kind of crowd, as a matter of fact. Followed by hamburgers, pizza, and potato chips, cheese, beer, and French fries also high on the list, although they do not use mayonnaise on their fries because they don't live in Amsterdam. The number of adults who are overweight or obese has steadily increased since 1980, according to the American Obesity Association. Today, oh my God, these numbers are now so embarrassing I can't even read it. Guess what percent of individuals older than 20 are overweight?
56.
64.5%. Up from 46% since 1980. Man, are you people fat? And me. At 30.5%, the number of adults suffering from obesity is more than doubled. So we're talking overweight, almost 65%, and obese, meaning fat as a cow.
About 30, man.
Yeah, and it's more than that. Growing by the minute, and so is the number. Because they're eating so many junk foods, she said Americans are not choosing enough healthy foods. Fruits and vegetables supply a little more than 10% of daily calories. See, that's because it's very difficult. They don't make it easy. I'll tell you one of my favorite foods is strawberries.
Yeah.
Don't you love strawberries?
Had some like 2 days ago.
And if you have really good, sweet, delicious, fresh strawberries,
Right.
you don't have to put any kind of sweetener. I mean, you can
you
put
don't.
like Splenda or Sweet and Lower, or you can actually put sugar on there if you don't have to watch your sugar, but that's stupid.
Or some
But
cream.
if they're really good, you don't need anything on them. They
Right.
don't need to be enhanced or embellished or whatever.
Right.
But where would you go right now? You were going out to lunch. Where would you go to get, like, as part of your meal, some really good fresh strawberries?
The sweet tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah. Or
What
the
the hell is that?
Waffle Works. It's kind of like a salad bar kind of a place, but then they also have like a pizza bar and a soup bar in there. When we
A
did that
pizza
restaurant,
bar?
Yeah, you can get different kinds of pizza. Like they have different stations that you can go to.
Yeah.
And I just ate
Like
there for the
Exxon
first
and
time the
Mobil?
other day.
And
They
QAM?
came up when we
INZ?
did that restaurant poll.
RFX? Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of it. I mean, I've seen them around, but hadn't been there since.
And what do you mean since?
In other words, since we did that poll, I hadn't been there, but just recently I went.
And
it's good. It's a good place, fresh stuff.
I'll be damned.
But you know,
Well, I'm going to go there right now. As soon as I
get
get off the air at 2 o'clock, I'm going to find a sweet tomato and have some wonderful lunch. Some nice strawberries.
So you'd have to go to a specialty produce place if you don't go to one of your those pick-your-own strawberry places, like drive down to Kendall and the Redlands or something like that.
How about like Banton's Market there on Davie Road Extension? Got good produce. And how about like down in Dade? What's that old sponsor of mine in Dade County in Kendall? The produce market?
Right. Whatever it was.
Well, no, you know what the hell it is.
And in
It'll
its day,
come
Sonny's Market, but, you know.
And then, of course, back in Sonny's Market, and don't forget, we're not around for a long time, just for a bankrupt time. That's what Sonny always said. 19 till 2. Poor Sonny and all the other business people who used to be out there in that 79th Street Causeway. What a shame. It's called changing hoods. That's right. Just like they're doing in,
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, they're changing hoods when they get a little bit too moldy and they start smelling too bad. Here's your company suffering from regulations and increased labor costs. Let Oasis Outsourcing help you when it comes to the people side of your business. Payroll administration, Fortune 500 company employee benefits, Norman Brothers. That's the place.
Okay.
Remember Norman Brothers Produce?
No.
Payroll administration, Fortune 500 company employee benefits, human resource services, and risk management are just a few of the services that Oasis Outsourcing can cover to help your business be more profitable. Call Oasis Outsourcing today for a free evaluation at 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747. With more than 60,000 employees worldwide, Oasis Outsourcing understands the many facets of human resource management, and outsourcing is being recognized by firms large and small as a powerful management choice, which lets you focus on your core business while leaving the operational details to Oasis Outsourcing. Let Oasis Outsourcing make your business more profitable. For a free evaluation, no obligation, call toll-free 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747 for Oasis Outsourcing.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Absolutely.
All the things they said, now they can't be said. Janet Shooter, then the SEC went and threw a fit. All the things they said, now they can't be said. Can't they giving and John is dead. SEC has said, we have had enough.
Uh-huh.
We have had enough. We're in serious shit. Freedom totally lost. If I say cup, I am totally f***ed. Talk radio has run out of luck. Cause the SEC's run by a I keep asking myself, wondering how. Get girls to show their then guys can say wow. They handpick this guy, should just throw in the towel. The SEC's run by Michael Powell. This is the of Colin Powell. All the things they said, now they can't be said. Janet Shooter, then the SEC went and threw a fit. All the things they said, now they can't be said. Can't they giving and John is dead. SEC is dead. We have had enough.
Absolutely.
Get used to it. 146, 14 till 2 at 560 WQM. It's the American effing way now, man. Censorship is running rampant, and you can't say squat. You can, maybe you can squat, just be careful where you do it. Speaking of that, speaking of being raped and pillaged and plundered and looted, do you see about this thing with Shell gas?
Yeah.
Now, did either one of you put Shell gas in your car?
Shell no. I got a diesel.
Dyke. Attorneys sought a court order yesterday asking a federal judge to stop Shell Oil Company from requiring consumers to sign away their rights when filing claims to fix fuel gauges damaged by tainted gas. Man, oh man, the only thing worse than, and Duff told me this morning, the only thing worse than tainted gas is a tainted ass. Fort Lauderdale lawyer David Scott said Shell imposed burdensome restrictions on consumers by requiring them to sign releases and have their vehicles undergo limited automotive inspections in order to be reimbursed. What kind of a budget? It's not bad enough that we're paying like over $2 a gallon for gas now, well on the way to $3. No, but now we're getting tainted gas in our ass. By agreeing to the settlement to fix a bad fuel gauge, Scott said consumers could be forced to pay for other vehicle problems that might not show up until weeks or months later. Well, good. Screw these oil companies. And by the way, at a time when OPEC is saying this and the Saudis are panicking because of the attack last weekend, all these other excuses they're making, at that time, same time it's going on, the oil companies are reporting record profits again every quarter. Must be just a coincidence. Or maybe they're just being allowed to rape the public, you think? Oh, they wouldn't let them do that. Just like your government would never lie to you, would they? One driver who called Scott's law office said the high sulfur content in the gas ruined his catalytic converter in addition to his fuel gauge with a repair tab of more than $1,000. $1,000.
Oh my God.
For the honor of using Shell gas. Scott said some dealerships have told drivers that warranties on new vehicles don't cover fuel gauge repairs. They've also told drivers that new car warranties will be voided if they take their car to another shop to get it fixed. I use Amico and Mobile when I'm there.
Okay.
And you use?
I'm trying to think.
Probably Hess. No. Probably Hess. It's real cheap.
No, although I do hit the BP every now and then.
Well, the BP is Amico.
Right. Chevron, typically.
Oh, Chevron. Oh.
Well, what are you going to do?
No, it's okay. Chevron's real gas.
Yeah.
As opposed to some of those, like, make-believe kind of gas stations.
Right.
Oh, boy.
I'll hit a Mobile every now and then, depending on where I'm at.
Shell spoke. Oh, and let me say this to you. Don't we have a bit where they say, at the end of the bit, it says something about you're going to have to pay for air? We've got some bit where we're already paying for air. This is something I've been meaning to bitch and scream and holler about, and I don't know why we're such a bunch of schmucks. What kind of a communist bunch of crap is it? We're now paying $2.18 or $2.25, whatever it is, for a gallon of premium gas, and you go into a mobile station and you have to pay for air?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of crap is that?
It's a new revenue stream.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Beasley auctions on the online auctions to rape the public out there, the unsuspecting public who think that it's for charity. And so the Beasley people put these online auctions out there to peddle you a bunch of crap they got laying around, a bunch of OJ's old balls and stuff like that.
I mean, why would they give you something for free when they can charge you for it?
I mean, that would be like charging for water. That'll be next.
Oh, selling water.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, they do charge you to clean your car. I understand that for the vacuum thing, which is another ripoff. That's just a rape. That don't cost them anything. That's just a suction thing. I mean, screw answer. That's no big deal. But the idea of charging for air, that's one step away from charging you to breathe the fresh air. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I think at one of the stations it was like 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
50 cents?
We don't want no punk kids filling up their bicycle tires.
Why not?
For free.
Why not? Where are they going to get the air? That was no raspberry, okay? That was absolutely. I know my raspberries. We're talking strawberries, raspberries, and other assorted fruit. I know my fruit, mister.
It was a pomegranate.
That was no raspberry. That was bad. I should have reached right down here and dumped that baby, because it sounded to me like you just did that yourself.
It was a bike tire.
I think dump was the operative word there. That was bad, Duff. You better check the tape on that baby, okay? That was really bad. Almost get to the weekend. Another fine week here on his show. Almost get to the weekend, and little George drops one out. That was just grotesque. Enough to make a grown man weep. Anyway, Scott said some dealerships have told drivers that warranties on new vehicles. I just read that. Shell spokesman Sean Frederick said Shell has a draft release form for customers to sign when filing claims, but hasn't required anyone to sign anything yet. Frederick said Shell is also exploring ways for customers to have their vehicles repaired without having to pay the cost up front, but a formal process isn't in place yet. We're deeply sorry that customers are impacted by the situation, Frederick said. We take this matter very seriously and encourage customers who have experienced fuel gauge-related issues to contact our customer service center for assistance. Michelle Tuggle of Fort Lauderdale filed 2 claims after fuel gauges in her Volkswagen Passat and Mercedes vehicles malfunctioned last week. Shell's insurance company sent her a letter Thursday, which asked her to obtain 2 estimates for each car. Upon receipt, we'll review your for consideration, and if needed, we may elect to have your vehicle inspected, the letter stated. Tuggle said the letter infuriated her because it wasn't signed, and the toll-free number listed at the bottom is not is not a working number. I've been a loyal Shell customer almost exclusively for 20 years, and this is what I get, she said. They're telling me I have to get 4 estimates. Who's going to pay for my time? And after their review, maybe they'll elect to cover my claim, maybe? Well, Chum I think is what she said. For Shell. As in, go to hell, you people at Shell. That's bad. The rape of the American public. If I have to see this little punky kid at the spelling bee, now did you see that? They showed it 100 times. The other kid, did you see him pass out?
No, not yet.
He fainted.
Maybe they'll
But
show
you won't see it now. Oh, this little nerdy kid. Are they going to pick on that kid in school or
Is this
what?
the one?
Akshay.
Oh, here you go.
Budiga
There you
briefly
go.
collapsed while on stage. Briefly collapsed while on stage. Got up. He then got up. He actually got up and then spelled his word correctly. Akshay also spoke.
I can't believe you haven't seen that.
No, not yet.
They've shown that about 50,000 times already. 152 at 560 WQM. Mad Dog doing his show at the Hooters this afternoon in Doral. With the heat of the summer here right now, speaking of cars, now's a great time to get out of that car you've been driving. Get yourself into a great new Toyota from Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. On US 1, 20 minutes south of the 836, they're worth the drive to save thousands on great new Toyotas. With rising gas prices, maybe you want a car with more fuel economy. The legendary Toyota, I love the way this spelling, man. Fat boy, you're an idiot. The legendary Toyota Corolla can be yours for just $11,990 or lease it for just $209 a month. Need a great Toyota for that college or high school graduate? How about the Toyota Echo lease priced at just $199? Need a truck? The V6 Toyota Tundra regular cab can be leased for just $239 a month. Looking for the hottest new cars around? Check out the Corolla XRS and Solara convertible now in stock at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. Armstrong Toyota of Homestead is locally owned and operated. Make sure that you're a happy customer. They'll do just about anything, including standing on their head. And their service department's even open late till late weeknights to make sure your service work is done. And get this, Armstrong Toyota of Homestead was the first dealer to offer you free tires and batteries for life, and now they're the first to offer you free replacement parts for life. You heard me right. Batteries and free parts for life. Nobody nowhere do that. So why waste time in gas driving all over town, especially with that gas price the way it is, to all those big shot mega dealers with their screaming car spots who then give you a big letdown? Do the smart thing. See David Rich, the GM, at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead today for an unbeatable deal. That's Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. Drive a little and save a ton on that great new Toyota today.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio is all yours now. QAM.
Friday, you bastards.
Santana. You've heard him play his Grammy performance with Rob Thomas. And on the latest hit with Michelle Branch. Everybody wants Santana on their song, so we've compiled a CD collection of every artist Santana has ever played with, like Eminem,
2 trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
the Dixie Chicks, Andrea Bocelli, it's Santana's Licks for Everyone CD, including unreleased tracks from Carlos and John Tesh.
But someday your dream will end, and I will be there for you as well.
Yes, he's a guitar-playing whore who will play with anybody, except, of course, Kelly Clarkson.
A moment like this. No way, man.
Santana's Licks for Everyone. Order now and receive a personalized bonus track where Santana plays your very own birthday song.
Happy birthday, dear Stanley.
Call now.
See, I would like to debate that myself. They say Santana licks. I think Santana sucks myself, but nevertheless, I don't know him that well.
Some people would say he blows.
158 at 560. Watch your step now, mister. Watch your step.
Hey,
Just like it says in those moving walkways at the airport at Schiphol in Amsterdam. Watch your step. Watch your step.
I'm treading lightly.
Kevin Crew, take your seats. There's nothing like the Dutch-speaking English man. There's just something about it. Like sends goosebumps up the back of my spine.
I like the English-speaking English. It's kind of cute.
Oh, when's that? You mean like in South Florida? When's that going to start? Oh, you mean the Brits speaking English? No, I don't. I can't stand that. That just that turns me the other way. Turns me around. Anyway, how's that poll coming? And the thing about I will never ever, this is my pledge to myself, I'll never ever buy gas at a gas station where they're going to charge me for air in my tires. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Why should you have to pay for air? What kind of a bunch of garbage is that?
Some of us bought an air compressor for our home, so we don't have to put up with that.
Well,
kind
good
of crap.
for you. I think maybe I should be doing that, a big shot like me. Who is your all-time favorite fat person, dead or alive, was our poll question today. And you'll notice there's an awful lot of dead people here before their time. John Candy leading the way, 177. Jackie Gleason, 102. Chris Farley, 83. John Belushi, 63. The formerly fat Neil Rogers, the old fat version, 57. Curly of the Three Stooges, 32. Jerry Garcia, 21. Don DeLuise, 20. Kelly Craig, 17. Come on, Kelly, loose announce, please. We love you. John Goodman, 15. Dusty Rhodes, 10. Big Wilson, 9. Marlon Brando, 9. Michael Moore's got 9. He should be doing better than that. I would have voted for him. Sam Kinison, 8. Buddy Hackett, 8. Fat Rush Limbaugh, 8. See, it goes to show you pop a lot of oxys, man. You can lose weight. It's great. He's got 8. Lou Costello, 8. Alfred Hitchcock, 7. The Fat Elvis, 7. The Humpers got 7. Dave Dixon, 6. Orson Welles, 5. Fat Anna Cole Smith, 5. Ron Jeremy, 4. And Teddy Roosevelt, 4. Ever see them together, Teddy Roosevelt and Ron Jeremy?
No.
Same person.
Bye, bye, bye! The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is the beast.
A fat Jew.